Welcome to another edition of Against the Grain Sports Podcast Uncut. And I'm your host, Jody Coleman, in the building. Got my man, Jarrell, Solo Sports Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Man, how you feeling, my guy?
Jody, man, I want to know: do you have your brooms ready? That's all I want you to answer for me. Are the brooms ready for the sweeping that's going on in the NBA Finals? I know you know what I'm talking about, baby.
Listen. Listen, man. I don't even want to get into that as of yet. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We're getting everything together right now. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about the NBA Finals. We'll talk about the NFL news. There's some crazy news in the NFL that people may know about, but if they don't, we're gonna put them on. It's a little bit of gossip, though. So it's a little bit of gossip, but we got some, and we're gonna do some college football preview. The first kickoff. About to add Donald, the voice of the youth, in the building, man. Let's get him on here too, man. Let's get him in the building so we can get everything cracking. We got Donald, the voice of the youth, in the building, man. What's going on,
Nothing, man. Doing a little spring cleaning.
nephew? How you feeling?
Nothing, man. Just making sure we don't got to bring the broom out. Might be time to clean up today.
What up, Donald? What's up, Doc?
What's up?
How you doing today, bro?
Just looking. How you been outside?
Bruh, it's quiet in the motherfucker around this bitch. Can you hear me? It's quiet in the bitch around here. They ain't got nothing to say lately. They down 2 games. They thought they had it wrapped up after they won the Oklahoma City series, but as we can see, the Knicks are a real threat. They didn't think they were, but they can definitely win this championship. They got to go back to New York too, bro. It's gonna be crazy. Can you hear me, Donald? Can you hear me? Okay, everyone's frozen. I'm gonna talk now. The Knicks, they didn't dominate, but they won. Doesn't matter. You win by 1 point, you win by 50. A win is a win. They took care of business in San Antonio, so we're gonna see what happens when they get back to the Garden. It's gonna be an interesting series, man. What's up, Jody? You back?
Yeah, man.
I think Donald froze up on us.
Yeah, I got it. I'm getting him in there. Okay. I see y'all talking about brooms, but listen, man. Before I even get into anything, we know I'm a historian of the game.
Don't deflect, nigga.
Hold on, I'm a historian of the game. And just about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, the Phoenix Suns went up 2-0 on the Milwaukee Bucks for the Milwaukee Bucks to win in 6. I mean, people are already crowning the Knicks as champs. If y'all want to crown them, then crown them.
I'm crowning them.
That's crazy work, but I love it when y'all do that because guess what Kobe Bryant said? The great late Kobe Bryant said, job not done.
Yeah, difference is Phoenix won those games at home. That's the big difference.
I don't think it mattered where you win at because San Antonio just beat Oklahoma City at home. I mean, on the road. So I don't think it really matters. It ain't like the Knicks. The Knicks could have lost last night and probably should have lost, and we'll get into that in just a minute. We got Kathy in the building. What's up? Kathy is in the building. We got my man, King Minks, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. I don't know what's going on with Donald's thing. He'll get on here shortly, man, but we still trying to get some things in order, man. But so let's get right into this game yesterday, man. So last night, matter of fact, let me get Donald situated. Well, once he get, let me see if I can get him situated on here. I don't know what's going on. But last night, man, the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs gave us one of the more epic finals games in recent memory, man. That game was a slugfest. Both teams seemed to be trying to outwit the other team. And I think the Spurs had every opportunity at the end of the game to win that game. We know it was a situation where Wemby made a mistake. I mean, he threw the ball away. He also had I wasn't even mad because he got the best shot he could get. It was not like it was a bad shot. You 7'4", you shooting over Mitchell Robertson was about 7 foot, but it was a good clean shot. You knocked that shot down 7 out of 10 times. That just happened to be one of the 3 times that he didn't hit it. So what did you think about last night's game, and what does that mean for this series?
Great game yesterday. Spurs started hot. I figured they would. I mean, they were down 1 game in the series, so they had to come out and see if they can jump on the Knicks real quick. They did that, but they just could not put the Knicks away. The Spurs were playing well in the first half, but the game was pretty much tied up. I think Knicks might have been up a few points at halftime, but Wemby didn't do anything until the second half. Bro, he is too talented to take 4 shots in a half of any basketball game. I understand your teammates are doing this and that. You cannot say you're not a role player. You are the dude on this team and the NBA taking 4 shots in the first half of a basketball game when your season's on line. I don't give a damn what you say. It's unacceptable. He played well in the second half, don't get me wrong. But if he had done that in the first half, possibly the Spurs could have had a decent lead going into halftime, and maybe they could have walked away with this game. It would be 1-1 right now. I think this is a learning lesson. We've been saying all year. I didn't think the Spurs would get this far because I thought they were too young. But it seems like they're learning their lesson in the finals. Their youth is starting to show up in the finals. I thought it'd be earlier in the playoffs, but it's a terrible time to learn a lesson. And I think the Knicks are taking advantage. They got a lot more veterans on their roster. I think Mitch Johnson's being out coached in this series as well. So unless they put Popovich back on the sidelines, back in New York, I think it might be a wrap, Jody.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Tasha? Tasha in the bench said, what's up to the guys? King Ming said, Jody, them young whippersnappers showing their age. And then Tasha said, who knew Cat had it in him? He's the biggest surprise of the postseason. I like when Cat got stuff in him. Like, you know what I mean? I like, anyway. So what? This is my thing, man. I see everybody giving analysis, and sometimes we just got it. I don't think that Mitch Johnson is getting out coached. I just think that because I mean, last night, if he hits that shot, if Wemby hits that shot, we're talking completely different. He drew up a play for his star player to get a clean shot, and that was a clean shot, guys. I mean, I was watching it with a good friend of mine, my man Josh Alford. He's a Knicks fan, and my other friend Khalid Jones, a friend of the show, Coach Jones. We were watching the game, and I was looking at the game, and I you know, when you're done, you normally are pissed off. I wasn't even pissed off because we got everything we wanted. My thing is when he threw the ball away, it was more on Castle than it was on Wemby. Castle, you're the point guard. Why are you not looking for the ball? And then I thought they were going to call timeout. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't call timeout. It was 12 seconds left. They get the last shot. And then if they don't get it, they go into overtime. What's up, sis? We got Asia in the building. What's up, sis? But like I said, the thing is, man, it could have went either way. I know a lot of people are saying get the brooms out. I'm like, that is very premature and very disrespectful because we've seen this team beat a 64 team 8 times in one season. So to say they can't go and beat the Knicks, and the Knicks are a different problem. They say styles make fights.
Yes.
And right now the Knicks give them a very difficult task because they have so many people, you know what I'm saying, that can score the rock. And I like what Mike Brown has shortened his rotation up. So big shout out to the Knicks. But, I mean, it's far from over. And if anybody think it's over, then I don't know if y'all know basketball. Because people are like, oh, I get it. Everybody talking about it's going to be a sweep. They lost 2 games at home, da-da-da. Listen, man, the NBA, we done been in for a treat all season. You don't think it's going to be a treat now? You think that it's over now? Now, if they lose game 3, then maybe so. But, I mean, you get 3 days. Wemby has been very resilient through this whole playoffs. And as bad as he's playing, he's still averaging over 27 points a game in this series right now. What do you think about that, sir?
Oh, he's playing excellent. Like you just said, Joe, you proved my point. Styles make fights. And I think this is a bad matchup for San Antonio. Wemby is really having to work on defense. I mean, Cat's a real big man, and that can stretch the floor. So Wemby can't hide on defense as easy in this series as he did in the Oklahoma City series. They put him on Lou Dort or whoever, or scared ass Chet, whoever they had him guarding. Cat's making him work, and they're actually blocking Wemby out in the post when he's not used to, because in the Oklahoma City series he was doing whatever he wants. I think it's just a really bad matchup for the Spurs. Not saying the Spurs are not a really good team and have a bright future. I just think this is the worst team they could have played in the finals this year. This is my opinion.
Tasha said Mike Brown's been disrespected throughout his whole career. What has he done for Cat needs to be studied. Yeah, because they running. We said it on here on Against the Grain Sports. We said Cat need to have the offense ran through him like the Joker has the offense ran through him in Denver. And that's what Mike Brown has did. And I believe it was game 4 against the Atlanta Hawks. That's when he unlocked Cat. And sometimes you got to unlock the Cat.
You got to unlock it.
Sometimes you got to stretch the Cat out and make the Cat a stretch 4 or 5. Sometimes you got to stretch it a few inches. And that's what they did with the Cat in New York. They let him be a stretch 4 or 5. They allowed him to put the ball on it, and they made him a point center, point forward type situation where he's touching the ball on every possession. And then defensively, we got to give a big shout out to what he's done defensively, not just against Wemby, but against other players in other series. King Mink said it's going to go 6. Tyson said you got to run through the Cat. Lotto said Castle need to be the PG. Wemby was just panicking. The point guard in the lineup was the next Wemby on the right, which was Fox. So my thing is just what I'm saying. So, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Am I scared about this situation? Can the Knicks really win this series? Yeah, but I think a sweep is very, very disrespectful to say. I would say a team that won 60 games just because they just won a game by 1 point. It's not like they blew them out in game 2. And it was, like I said, it was every sign, because the Knicks was giving them every opportunity to win that game. Like your boy Brunson didn't play well. They got kind of cold in the fourth quarter. They were depending on guys like McBride and Shaman to score it. They were depending on those guys. And Mikal Bridges just happened to get hot in the second and third quarter. So, man, like I said, man, it's very interesting so to see. But I think we got a lot in store. Monday night is going to be a very, very emotional game. And let me ask you this, though. Do you think Wemby is too emotional when it comes to possession by possession and game by game?
Yes, I think he celebrated a little too much in the Oklahoma City series. I know everybody here in San Antonio hates the Thunder, and they really wanted to beat them. They wanted that 1 seed. They worked hard to get that. They didn't get it. So I think it was too much celebrating going on after beating Oklahoma City. He was crying on the court. Bruh, you still got to win 4 more. I think that they're still on that emotional high of beating Oklahoma City. A lot of people thought that's the championship. Whoever wins this series is going to beat the shit out of whoever comes out of the East. And we've seen that's not true. So he is very emotional. He's a young kid. He wants to win. That's obvious. He's not just out there hooping. He wants to win. But he's made some mistakes. But when you have the ball in your hand as much as he has, that's going to happen, Jody. I mean, I don't really blame Castle or Wemby for that mistake at the end. If you look at it, Jody, you look at a guy like Wemby, he can run the point. So if he gets a rebound, he's fast breaking. And Castle thinks he's not a regular center that I got to go get the ball from him. Wemby can dribble like a point guard. So it was a little miscommunication there. It happens. You know, it's basketball. People, no one's perfect. So we'll see if they can bounce back. But it's going to New York. It's going to be extremely tough for them to win up there. They should have won last night. Whether they win by 1 or they lose or win by 50, whatever, they still lost. It's going to be tough for them in New York City to get a win.
And see, my thing with the emotion, I didn't have a problem with him being emotional at the Oklahoma City series, being Wemby. I didn't have a problem with that. I had a problem with he's too emotional possession by possession. His body language, he's emotional, he's pouting, not in a way that he's disrespecting his teammates or anything like that, but you can't be too high and you can't be too low. And I've seen him be too high and too low. And for a young player, you got to learn that even ground, because like I said, it's a lot of basketball to be played in these games where the reason why San Antonio plays so well in first quarters is because they're a young, emotional team. They come off, they feed off each other, they feed off the energy of the crowd. But then when you get to second and third quarter, it seems like the rim has shrunk and they can't hit anything. And then they got to wait to the fourth quarter once again and get this emotional high again. But sometimes, like in game one, it was too late. The lead was too much to overcome. Last night, they were able to do it. They were down 14 points. And the people forget they were down 14 points to come back to tie this game up and had every opportunity to win it. So let's not say that San Antonio is done, because they seen at Spurs. They just have to put together a whole 48-minute game, which the Spurs have not done yet. And they only put a 48, even when they played Oklahoma City. I think one of the games that they won, they didn't put a whole 48-minute game together. Of course, went on winning overtime. I think really you only seen it happen like 3 times in that series. So I just think that San Antonio is not done. Like Donald said, he said, I don't think it's over, but he said the fat lady's definitely warming up her vocals. And he said if the Knicks win a championship, you care about safety, go out the city fast, because they're going to be turning he said they're going to turn New York City upside down.
Oh yeah.
It could be dangerous, honestly, because we saw what happened in Chicago when the Cubs won the World Series for the first time. We saw what happened in Cleveland when the Cavaliers had won the NBA title. Like, these cities that's starving for championships, man, that hasn't won in a long time for that particular team that they love so much, it could be dangerous. So what do you think about that?
Oh, most 100%. I'm concerned for the Spurs. How are they going to get to the Garden for game 3 and 4? Knicks fans they are so desperate for a win. They're willing to do anything. I hope they don't have a bus that has Spurs on the side of it when they show up for the game. It better be in an unmarked vehicle, because the Knicks fans, they smell blood. And a lot of them were down here for the game here in San Antonio. And I know a lot of people locally didn't like it. But in New York, concerns definitely, because I think the Knicks fans, they can smell it. They haven't had a championship since before anybody on this show was born. So we'll see if they can actually get it done. But yeah, safety is definitely a concern. They got to keep the Spurs safe. Don't eat any outside food. You might want to bring your own chefs on the road with you. All those things, man, because the Knicks, at this point, I think they're willing to do anything to win a championship.
And that's the thing that scares me too, because you go to New York, people really don't care. People are willing to sell their kidneys. You know what I'm saying? And do different things when it comes to winning. They haven't won since 73, I believe. And it's been quite some time since they have won a championship. And this is a city that, what I will give credit to New York is they made a move that I didn't think was favorable. When they got rid of Tibbs, I'm like, man, what are they doing? You get rid of a guy that takes you to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it was something that Dolan seen. And he says, you know what? Let's make this move. Let's bring Mike Brown into this fold. Mike Brown, like Tyson said, has been disrespected pretty much his whole career. Has won Coach of the Year with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's coached LeBron James. He's had some great seasons, a lot of 60-win seasons. Been with the Golden State Warriors and their organization through their run. So he learned a lot from that organization. So we got to give big shout out to that. I remember just 4 or 5 years ago how everybody was saying Jalen Brunson, bringing him into New York, was a dumb move, including the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, the Mad Dogs of the world, ESPN, Fox Sports. Everybody was saying it wasn't a good move. The Knicks wasted their money. Are y'all saying they wasted their money now? Or y'all got to eat crow? And I remember, and I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, I remember my boy Jay Kane, the chef, our guy, our constituent on the show. He's a big-time Knicks fan. He said he is the Knicks. And I told him, I said, hey, Jalen Brunson is the real deal. I was like, why that? Because remember, him and Luka was playing together. They actually was in the same draft. And I was like, hey, man, this guy is a bona fide beast, man. Came from Villanova. He know how to win. And he was like, man, I don't know. Because at the time, they wanted Donovan Mitchell. That's who they wanted. They wanted Donovan Mitchell because Donovan Mitchell was a native of New York. So remember, that's when Donovan Mitchell was leaving Utah. And they ended up getting Brunson over Mitchell. And I think that has paid tremendous dividends. But like I said, ain't nobody gonna remember. I didn't have it on air, so I ain't got no tape to tell everybody that's what happened. I told them how good Jalen Brunson was gonna be, and nobody in New York even believed in Jalen Brunson. Let's keep it all the way funky, man.
Well, New York. When you think New York, Joe, you think, oh, we gotta have a sexy name, and they're thinking Jalen Brunson. He's the backup to Luka, the 2nd round pick from Villanova, undersized guard. Nah, he ain't. He's not what we need in New York. They like you said, they thought Donovan Mitchell, another big name. It's New York. It's the Big Apple. We gotta have a big name. but they were wrong. And this kid has been really playing some really good basketball. He didn't play well in game 2, but his leadership out there in the clutch plays he's been making is really helping his team win. They're playing great as a team right now.
Real quick, Donald said the best offensive player for the Spurs to me is Dylan Harper. He's a rookie and didn't make the money other guys make, so his chances will be unlimited. But Dylan Harper, to me, has the most complete offensive game on the Spurs team. I think they should have went to him for the game. I did too. I did think that he was the one getting downhill, getting fouls, and creating stuff. And
but Fox played good yesterday too, though. Finally,
he played, but in that situation, fourth quarter, Dylan Harper, I got to go with who's getting to the line, who's being most aggressive, and sometimes. But I know you want to go to your star. You want to go to Wemby. Wemby is the star. You got to go through him. And then Donald said if Brunson delivers the championship to New York, he will be on top of the world first life in Knicks history ever to throw. I thought that Cat is the MVP so far. Now let's talk about this. One more thing before we go on and talk NFL. This is funny to me. Remember when they made the trade? I do got this on record. When they made the trade for Cat coming to New York and Randall going to Minnesota. Also, they lost DiVincenzo to Minnesota. And I was on the show, and everybody was talking to me like, oh, the Knicks, oh, they got Cat, oh, they in trouble. Oh, Cat is this, Cat ain't that good. I'm like, no, Cat is pretty good. I said, Cat is good. I said, the guy, this is the only guy that's in the league that's been to 3 straight. He went to 1 Western Conference Finals and 2 Eastern Conference Finals, now NBA Finals. And I told everybody that I said, New York is going to be an even trade for both teams. Do y'all remember me saying that? And everybody like, nah, Minnesota won that trade, because Minnesota went to the Western Conference Finals last year. What do you feel about that trade now between Cat and Julius Randle?
Well, the Knicks won that trade, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, even when Julius Randle was with the Knicks the last couple of seasons he was there, I do believe he was hurt. He really wasn't helping the team out very much. And Cap had been balling in Minnesota. He fell off a little bit in some of those playoff runs, but he was a very good stretch forward. He's been calling himself the best shooting big man in the league, and that's what he's been the last couple of years. So it's a perfect fit for the Knicks. And right now, you definitely say the Knicks won that trade.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we saying he won because I think that it's still an even trade because we can't make no mistake in Minnesota. Even though Randall is not putting up major numbers, that team as a whole is still, winning a lot of games. Like I said, they got to the second round this year. The year before that, they was in the Western Conference Finals. So it's not like that it was just a complete bust. I hear people on ESPN, listen, man, I'm getting on y'all today. And, y'all be saying some of the most outlandish shit I've ever heard. Oh, my God, this is the worst trade in NBA history. Shut the fuck up. What? How is this the worst trade? Cat to getting in Julius Randle is the worst trade. You traded 2 number 2s. And let's make no mistake, Brunson is the guy on the Knicks, and Cat is a complimentary number 2. Like, some of this shit they say need to be banned, so. I'm gonna keep it real, man. Some of this shit they say.
Well, they say shit, Jody, because especially in a big platform they have, they say things just to get the crowd going. You know what I'm saying? Like if we say this crazy shit, that's gonna make our likes and everything go up. I don't know if they necessarily believe it, but they have to say that crazy shit to get people to keep watching their platform, even if they don't actually believe some of the bullshit that they say. Everything is the greatest, or everything is the worst in that moment. Like they've been saying, Wemby's the best player ever. Hold on, this dude just got to the league. No. Let's calm down on some of this shit. Let the kid play. Let him have some years go by before they saying it. Like they're saying Jalen Brunson's the best Knick ever. Slow down.
Yeah,
you forget about Bernard King and Patrick Ewing, all these guys.
Whoa.
Let's relax.
Clyde Frazier.
Yeah, let's relax on that shit. You know what I'm saying, Jody?
Dave DeBuscher. It's just so much disrespect that be thrown. And I'm a Spurs fan, and I know people was like, Wemby gonna be better than Tim. Oh, whoa,
slow down,
whoa,
slow down.
Whoa, wait up, he's gonna be better than Dave. Whoa, George. Whoa, I love Wemby. Everybody, I love Wemby. Wemby's offensive game needs a lot of work.
Yes, sir, it does. He plays like a guard. He needs to. I don't know if he's ever going to have a post game. I'm maybe we're old school when it comes to the post, but bruh, he dribbles way too much for me. That's just my opinion. That's why in game 1 they had all those steals against him, because he's in the paint spinning and shit. Man, you tall as fuck. The ball is right there. They can steal it from you. He does need to add some other things to his offensive game. He's not a finished product, but the kid is legit.
And on top of that, defensively, I think he will be one of the best defensive players. But this is what I've seen that he's been exposed to. When he has to take a step out, his closeout defensively is horrible. And he got dunked on because he took a bad angle on OG Anunoby last night. So when you close out, you're supposed to come out with both hands up. I'm a defensive guru. That's what I taught in high school. I taught my team. We were very good defensive teams in this area. And it was all about closing out and forcing people off of the three-point line. He forced him off the line, but he took a bad angle, and all Anunoby did was put his shoulder into his chest,
body
took a bad angle, and he dunked on him. Because you got to dunk on Wemby. You can't try to float nothing. He gonna block whatever. You can throw it to the ceiling, and that's where I think Mike Brown seen that he can expose Wemby if you give him with a good head fake and put the ball on the ground. Because Wemby is expecting you to kind of shoot.
Yeah,
and that's what he was getting against the Chet and all those guys. But defensively, I still, even though he's the best defensive player in the league, and he earned the defense player of the year. But now people are starting to see chinks in his armor defensively as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but like you said, he's not a finished product. That's why we can't be crowning these motherfuckers and make it. I'm not saying Wemby's not going to be an all-time great. We can't say these type of things to put the kid already got enough pressure on him. They're trying to make him the face of the league. They were saying he's the best big man. Shaq even said this, Jody. Shaq even said he's the best. Basically said the other day he's the best big man ever. Shaq, bro, let this kid play some ball a little bit longer before you start saying these things. You got to win some championships and some MVP awards, all this stuff that you did, Shaq, before you start crowning this dude as the best big ever.
Donald said, I don't know, man, if the Knicks matter. He said championships matter like that. They try to say if Brunson wins the championship, he will sure be a strong case for the best Knick. I'm not saying he won't be in that avenue as the best Knick, but we got to understand when it comes to players being the best in their organization, it's not all about championships. It's about, okay, like LeBron James. LeBron James was able to win one championship in Cleveland. That one championship in Cleveland is worth all three of his other championships in those other places that already, especially when he went to LA.
These are facts.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand what Patrick Ewing had to go through when he took over the Knicks. And he took the Knicks from being the number one pick in the draft. They were number one pick in the draft for a reason. I know it was a lottery, but they were not a good team. You got to think what Walt Clyde Frazier did in the 70s and the heights. Not only did he win one championship, but he won two. And that's what people forget. He won two. Dave DeBusschere, those guys won two championships. You got to forget guys like Phil Jackson. Those guys won championships. Remember Pat Riley? People forget Pat Riley was on one of those Knicks teams back then. So I just want people to know their history before they just get out here and just start saying that Jalen Brunson, because this is what they see. And I'm not knocking nobody, and I'm not saying nobody don't study and nothing like that. That'd be disrespectful to me. And I'm not saying that, but it's like some people just say stuff and be like, hey, Jalen Brunson, because they're a prisoner of the moment. Y'all just 3 years ago didn't even like him. Now he the best Knick.
Tell you, bro, Brunson is legit. Not only that, Joe, here locally, they're on the local radio. I have to turn this shit off sometime. They had Antonio Daniels. You remember him, the brother of the Lone Sox, played for the Spurs?
Yeah.
They had him on the radio yesterday. He was talking about how San Antonio was going to win the 4 championships in the next 10 years with this corporate. Bro, the NBA has changed so much. We said the same thing about Oklahoma City, and now when they lose, oh shit, they need to break the team up. It's just, we said about Boston. Stop saying this crazy shit. Let these kids play and see if they can get to that point instead of crowning them champions, multiple champions, when they ain't won one yet.
And that's the thing too. And we're gonna get to the NFL.
Yeah.
But talking to my guys, they were talking about they was like, man, it's okay if y'all don't win the championship this year because y'all got a young core. I said, man, Dan Marino thought the same fucking thing. Dan Marino was like, I got the Mark brothers, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, both of these guys are catching 4,000. I got Don Shula, the legendary head coach. I'm one of the best quarterbacks, and at the time, the best quarterback in my second year. I just broke the record for most yards passing, over 4,800 yards passing. Nobody ever seen an offense like this. We go play the San Francisco 49ers. It's okay because we lost to the 49ers. The 49ers got Joe Montana. We'll be back. I bet Dan Marino said the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Next you know, you 15 years in and you ain't got close to another championship Super Bowl before.
And I'm not trying to be funny, so Joe Burrow's. Let me shut up, man.
Yeah, leave that alone, Joey.
Let me shut up. I know people don't want to hear that, but he's on the trajectory of that. But we got way too deep into the show, pause, without giving a shout out to our sponsor, Michael Wright, attorney at law, man. If you got anything that's legal, personal injuries at work, workman's comp, anything like that, just call Mike. And you can call him anywhere in the United States, all 50 states. Don't worry about it. Give him a call. You can call him at 937-222-7477. Make sure that we give a big shout out to our sponsor. I always wear the shirt now.
Yes, sir.
I got to send you a call.
Give me one of them, dog.
No
I'll rock it too.
But hey, guys, let's get to some NFL news. The NBA is almost adjourned. Hold on, I can't even leave without saying this. Asia said stretching. What, JoJo? Yeah, I said you got to stretch the cat out a little bit, Asia. You got to stretch. You got to stretch the cat out.
Jody, before you go further, speaking of stretching the cat. Speaking of TMZ shit, there's some video out that they couldn't stretch the cat. I don't know if you've heard this. Diddy is not capable of stretching the cat. That's what you played Monopoly, Jody, growing up, right?
I did.
You remember they had to pick the little who you gonna be going around the board.
Yeah,
Diddy rocking the thimble. That's what they're saying, bro. Diddy out here rocking the thimble. That's what they're saying.
I ain't seen the tape. If
I'm Jody, let's put like this, Jody. Jody, it ain't nothing to see. If you might see in the tape, ain't nothing to see what they're saying.
But my thing is this: if I'm 50, I ain't even mad. I'm like, dude, you ain't even penetrating the kitty, man. Why would I be mad? That you act like he must. I would call that situation like he was with a woman, because that's all he had.
Jody, he got enough money. He can get in some dick weave if he wanted to. Some dick extensions or something. Come on, bro. He got too much money to be walking around with a. That's not.
That's crazy work. Donald said the dynasties are over. Nobody is just about to let some people sit around and keep winning championships. Too many players moving teams, and too many players on the same level of the other players. So I can see that Donald has been saying that. He said that the Milwaukee situation. We are about to crown a champion for the 8th different time. Last back-to-back champion was the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Since that, we have crowned 8 different champions. Kathy has a big crush on Dan Fouts, and Dan Fouts was a smooth brother though, man. Dan Fouts, he got that beard, man. It was smooth brother. But we got some NFL news since we talking about tapes and we talking about, bruh. This NFL news, but it's kind of TMZ. And I'm not sure if y'all knew the reason why A.J. Brown really got traded.
I think I heard this. I'm
going to go ahead. We're going to talk. Well, let me go ahead and explain to you guys. So A.J. Brown, the wide receiver formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, was traded from Philadelphia over to the New England Patriots to reunite with his head coach that he had in Tennessee and Mike Vrabel. So this is where he has some success with Tennessee. So that style of offense is still in place. He got a better quarterback up there with Drake May than Ryan Tannehill was in Tennessee. Don't have a better running game because he was playing with Derrick Henry, of course. So he wanted out of Philadelphia. But let me tell you why he wanted out of Philadelphia. Now, you might know this, and everybody listening, buckle up. So A.J. Brown was banging or having sex with a young lady out of the Philadelphia area, which was to be his side piece.
Okay.
Well, remember Hassan Reddick, who had, I think, like 12 or 15 sacks, had an amazing season. He only played one season.
He's a Cardinal now, right?
Huh?
He's with the Cardinals now, right?
I don't know where. I don't know where he's at now. I think the last team he had played with was Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think.
Okay.
So he's out there, and he's knocking the same girl off too.
That's some teamwork right there.
That's definitely teamwork. Make the dream work. Well, as you can see, even though the Eagles needed an edge rusher, they got him up out of town and sent him to the New York Jets. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Nobody knew why Hassan Reddick, who just came off a Pro Bowl career year, you ship him out of town. I didn't know until now. We're talking 3-4 years later. So they ship him out of town. Right? So A.J. Brown goes to who he thinks or says is his best friend on the team in Jalen Hurts.
Oh.
He cries to Jalen Hurts like, hey, man, Hassan Reddick is knocking off my side chick. Jalen Hurts said, look, I ain't getting in this. I'm focusing on trying to win a Super Bowl. I don't got time for this sideshow shenanigans. AJ Brown, like, come on, man, you my boy, man. You ain't and Jalen Hurts, like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Like, we got rid of Hassan Reddick. Now we're in need of an edge rusher because you got jealous, so we need an edge rusher. So we get rid of me, and they did it for you because I think the upside for AJ Brown was more than Hassan Reddick because they had a lot of draft picks. So Jalen Hurts said, I don't want to get into this. So he said, I don't want to get into this. I'm focusing on winning the Super Bowl. And guess what they did? They end up getting Saquon Barkley and winning the Super Bowl. So from that point on, AJ Brown been blasting Jalen Hurts in the media because he didn't want to come to his aid over a side chick. So you wanted out of Philadelphia because Jalen Hurts was more focused on his job. We're mad at all these people that do all this off the court, off the field stuff. We get mad at them, but you finally get somebody that want to study and it actually work and pay dividends, and you're mad, and now you want to be traded because he didn't want to indulge in your off the field shenanigans. So talk to me, man.
Hey, Joey, I heard also, maybe tell me if I'm right or wrong about this. This chick was a massage therapist for the team or something like that. Is that true?
Hey, she massages shit.
Yeah, was that true, Joey?
Yeah, that's true.
How good were these happy endings that motherfuckers is getting tender dick over this chick? It must be amazing for you to want teammates go on and mad at your homeboy because he don't help you out. What y'all want to do? Jump him because he's messing with your girl? What are we doing here?
But so he got traded. And when you go, I want people to go back. Anybody listening to Against the Grain Sports, go back and look at the Hassan Reddick trade. I don't think Philly got nothing in return. Remember, they got the guy Huff, who I don't even remember him playing for the Eagles. They got a guy Huff, and I think some later round draft picks that I don't think. I want to go back and see what they got, but to give up Hassan Reddick, if anybody on here, look up Hassan Reddick's last year with the Eagles. I think he had 12 to 15 sacks.
Because didn't he try to get a new contract and they wouldn't give him one? And
that's why they didn't. But then they traded him. They literally traded him to the Jets. They traded him straight up to the Jets. And AJ Brown got what he wanted.
I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, man.
Come on, bro. Like, this is when I heard the story, I'm like, man, this better not be true, man.
Jody, your AJ Brown has already come out and said he's in football heaven now. He said he's no longer in Philly. He's got an upgraded court. He's talking big shit, bro. I don't get it, man. You fighting, pissed off at your homeboy because he didn't have your back. What do you want? Like you said, what do you want this nigga to do? Stop giving her the diddy dick, and maybe she wouldn't have been messing with somebody yet. I don't know.
But these women, listen, man. This is. Have you ever seen the show The Game?
Yes, sir. Of course.
This is some real shit.
The show was corny. The show was corny, but I liked it. I like that corny ass shit.
Yeah, it was. They was selling the truth. Donald said, "Man, the NFL needs to be banned." Man, he said massages. He said, but I don't see what Hurst could do about it at all. Like, what you want? That's like me going, "Hey, soul man, what are you supposed to do? Like,
what do you want me to do?
What you want me to hug you or something?"
Yeah. Sorry about that, dog. I mean, was it that good? That's what I'm gonna ask you. I don't know shit.
You better be glad you ain't go talk to one of these shicey dudes because Jalen Hurts probably could have got her too.
Yeah.
But we talking about a dude that every woman goes crazy over. You don't think y'all bet? Why would you go to him, AJ?
Yeah, he could have told him, "I'll talk to her for you, player." Oh no, it's all right.
I'm not. Listen, hey, I love you to death, but Jalen Hurts, I'm not having Jalen Hurts talk to no woman in my behalf because
no,
be his woman.
No,
that's gonna be his woman, bro.
Like, nigga, you were banned.
Dude, it's crazy. Kathy said, "Why should you be surprised that massage therapists giving happy endings to millionaires?" I ain't surprised at all. Listen, I know some that ain't millionaires that get happy endings. So I mean, shit, what you gonna do with a dude that make $50 million a year? But all the way real, man. I just think that this is what breaks up dynasties. If you go back and look at a lot of great dynasties in sports, it's because of this type of bullshit. Philadelphia had an opportunity to be the real deal dethroning of the Kansas City Chiefs, which they did, but they could have continued doing that. AJ Brown for 4 seasons I think every year had 1,000 yards that he was with the Eagles. Mm-hmm. He was very productive. Like I said, even when he's not catching the football, he was stretching the field. I'm saying stretch a lot. He was stretching the field. and it was giving running lanes to Saquon Barkley. I don't understand. Now you go to a New England Patriots situation where, I mean, it's a good situation. They coming off a Super Bowl, but let's see how this goes. When now they're not playing the last place schedule, they're playing the first place schedule. Let's see what that looks like. Buffalo ain't gonna keep letting them beat them like that. So I'm very interested to see on that. But nevertheless, man, that was some NFL news. Now let's talk about some other stuff in this in Cleveland. We know, hey, what's up to my man Russell Higgins in the building? He said good morning to the brothers on the show. What's good, Russ? So in Cleveland, they made the trade, the mega trade. Myles Garrett goes over to the Browns, but the Cleveland Browns got a guy named Jared Verse. Jared Verse is actually a native of Dayton, Ohio. He was born here in Dayton, Ohio, where I'm from.
Okay.
He moved around. Of course, he ended up going to Florida State, Rookie of the Year, 2-time Pro Bowler, whatnot. Well, he wear number 8. And you know that Dylan Gabriel wear number 8. So I don't know if Verse just deboed him for his number, but he's wearing number 8 in practice. So what do you think?
Jody, is Dylan Gabriel even on the roster anymore? Y'all drafted another quarterback, right?
Yeah, we did.
So
yeah.
Dylan Gabriel he might not even have a number. He said, look here, man, you just stand over there and hold the clipboard because he might not even get be on the roster when the season starts. They got 3 other quarterbacks that seem to be better than him. So, I wonder if they asked him or did they talk to him about the dude taking your number? The motherfucker didn't show up to practice with your jersey on. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, with his name on the back. I mean, that right there is letting me know that they already about to cut you, my boy. Like,
yeah, he gone.
Dylan Gabriel, man, I don't want him to be cut. I think that he could be a very serviceable backup in this league. I don't think he's a starter right now. I'm not saying that he can't develop into a starter, but the reason why I put so much pressure on Dylan Gabriel is that he was like a 5 or 6 year senior. So it's not like he was that raw. He played in a lot of games. People forget that he played for Central Florida. He went to Oklahoma and he went to Oregon. So he played for 3 different college teams. So he should have been a little bit more seasoned, in my opinion. Those dip and dunk passes. When you throw those dip and dunk passes and you play for Oregon, those guys are taking it, catching the ball 2 yards, taking it 60. Well, you don't have that type of talent on Cleveland, and you're not playing against that type of competition with the Browns. But getting your number Debo, man, because I ain't heard him giving no money up for it or nothing like that. It's just he woke up and he said, I got number 8. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I want Verse to be as comfortable as he possibly can because he got some big shoes to fill in Cleveland, man. What do you think so?
Oh yeah, if he's been putting up some good numbers. We talked about this already. He's a good player. He's cheaper than Myles Garrett. If he can put up equal numbers that Myles Garrett's put up, and you guys can fix that offense, though. We already know your defense is going to be solid with or without Myles Garrett. But if that offense can get clicking without Dylan Gabriel, I think y'all be just fine.
I think defensively, man, we got some young studs. This is what they wanted, but my thing is I'm tired of having a young team and we still not do shit. I think this is an opportunity for Cleveland to really be good. I don't care who plays quarterback. We finally got an offensive person as the head coach that actually is not going to try to do the scripted plays, and hopefully Munkins won't be as stubborn as Kevin Stefanski was. I think if Stefanski was so stubborn when it came to play calling, he could have a guy that was red hot and stop giving him the ball. And like I said, I'm going to say this, and I'm a Cleveland fan. Anybody out there, Kathy, can probably co-sign what I'm about to say. It's like Cleveland never could have a good receiver because once he catch one pass, they take him out the game. I'm like, wow. But if you see, like, the Commanders, they keep giving the ball to Scary Terry. He might have 4 or 5 catches on that drive alone. Cleveland, you never see a guy have multiple catches on the drive because it's like that's not in his Kevin Stefanski's play calling. He wants to spread the ball around. Like, nah, motherfucker, go to who's hot. And that's what I hope that Todd Munkins can do because he did it a lot in with the Baltimore Ravens when he had hot guys like Flowers would get hot and Isaiah Likely would catch. And this is what I'm saying. So on a drive, when you see a wide receiver or a tight end catch multiple passes on a drive, man, they calling that guy's number, man. What do you think about that?
Oh, most definitely, man. Like you said, I think they upgraded that head coach. Like you said, I hope his play calling is better than the former coach that was there, which I think it was time for him to roll anyway. I mean, I know you were waiting them to have you didn't want your team to have a bad season, but you wanted to get that coach out there so you can start over fresh. Absolutely. So I think new guy calling plays. a battle at quarterback. So I think that breeds good play, because I think that guy that does get the starting job knows there's a good backup. So I have to play well in order to keep my damn job. And I think that also competition is key at every position. And so quarterback is going to be one of those that there's going to be a battle probably through training camp and through preseason to see who's going to be their starter there in Cleveland.
You know, the thing though, like, I think if, like I said, Deshaun Watson does not win the quarterback position in Cleveland, he will be cut.
You think so?
He will be cut. Yes, he's absolutely going to get cut because this is his last year of this contract anyway. So we got to pay him. I think it'll be less distraction. So if Deshaun Watson does not win the quarterback competition, understand that he will be cut. Shedeur Sanders, if he doesn't win the quarterback competition, it's going to be okay. He can go and be the backup, and we'll roll with Shedeur. I mean, we'll go with Deshaun Watson. But every time Deshaun Watson will have an incomplete pass or thrown an interception, they're going to be chanting for Shedeur's name, because the most popular player in any city of a struggling football team is the backup quarterback. He's always one player. Kathy said, look, Miles Garrett is a loss, but he deserves to win the Super Bowl. And then she said, keep the players on the field that's hot, with hot hands. Now, speaking of that, she just made mention of Super Bowls. So I got to ask this question. Now, I know this is way too early. We haven't even got to preseason practice. This is like the people saying the Knicks are going to sweep the Spurs. But anywho, very premature ejaculations out here, man. Y'all some premature ejaculators. But Super Bowl favorites. Give me a – hold on. She said Kimi said, has Dylan Gabriel said girlfriend said anything lately? I haven't heard her make any tweets since she was talking about Shedeur Sanders. She know her man is about to be out the door. She better be quiet.
He probably took her phone from her. Yeah,
to cancel all her accounts. But so I know it's early, and I know outside of the Rams, because the Rams evidently has been jumped up to everybody's favorite to win the Super Bowl. Give me your Super Bowl representative, if not the Rams, out of the NFC.
Which team I think is going to really do a lot this year? I'm going to go Chicago Bears. I like what they did last year. Caleb Williams played great, and I think they've upgraded at defense as well. It was one of their weaknesses. Now I think the Bears are going to have a really good season. I'm going to go Bears.
You're going to go Bears? It's kind of hard not to go back with the Seattle Seahawks if it's not going to be the Rams. It's hard for me. I know they lost some players in the offseason, but they still plugged and played. I think one of their biggest losses is Terrell Woodley, the cornerback. I think that was a huge loss for those guys. This guy was able to cover multiple positions, especially out on the outside the numbers. But to discount the Seattle Seahawks after what they did now, so the reason why I don't think they will is because it's so hard to repeat.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I say Seattle won't do it, and that's just because of the laws of physics. And like I said, outside of the Rams, who everybody believes is the Super Bowl favorite, I'm gonna go on a limb, man. I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys, man.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys. So you heard it here first. And this, let me explain why I say Dallas. And I know you don't like the Cowboys. I get it. But what the Cowboys have done is they got rid of a lot of distractions. So they're 2 years removed from a head coach that they're not blaming for every fucking thing. Mike McCarthy is going to be gone for the second year. Is that correct? He's going to be gone for 2 years.
You're right.
You got a quarterback in Dak Prescott who's been putting up big numbers. He got rid of that girl that was trying to get him sticking for his paper. Like,
hey, Jody, that's another TMZ moment. You know why they broke up, right?
Please enlighten me.
Jody, they were on one of those, these, when they get married now, they have these bachelorette parties, like, one resort or whatever. He was smashing the bride, the lady that's going to be one of the ladies that's standing next to his wife during the wedding. He was smashing this chick, and his almost wife found out about it.
Yo.
So yeah, that's why they broke up. Dak was laying the dick down on vacation to his almost wife, baby mama's girlfriend.
So hold on. So you saying that Dak was laying the Dak?
Dak was laying it Dak down on him.
That's crazy work, man. But I'm gonna be all the way real. The Cowboys, when you look at the Cowboys, and I know you never heard me say this unless this is legitimately how I feel. And the Cowboys have a quarterback, and as bad as Dak Prescott, people say he's a solid quarterback. He's not gonna turn the ball over a lot. Wide receivers, CD Lamb and Pickens are one of the best combos in the league. Top three. Cincinnati probably got something to say about it. But that's the only team I think would have something to say about it. Because now the Philadelphia Eagles can't say anything about it because they lost their combo. But anyway, so when I look at the tight end and the line and the defense now, and Caleb Downs, Ohio State kid, I just think the Cowboys was going to make some noise, man. I think the Cowboys going to have a really good chance to emerge. I don't think they beat Seattle or the Rams. I'm just saying outside of those two things, I like what you said with the Bears, but I think the Cowboys can beat the Bears.
Oh, the Cowboys never lack for talent and big names, and their offense was clicking last year. They probably had the best offense in the league last year, and then the worst defense.
Yeah.
So that's their big problem. They upgraded the defense. They got a new defensive coordinator. They took him away from Philly, I believe. The DB coach there or something like the linebacker coach or something like that. So and they got some pass rushers, like you said. They drafted safeties. They're going to be, if that offense can not even be, if it could be 90% of what it was last year, and their defense can play 15th in the league. Yeah, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree with that, Joey.
Kathy said the Philadelphia Eagles may be, or the 49ers. King Meek said it's going to be a team from the NFC West. He said the Cowboys, what the fuck, on Tecmo Bowl NFL 2K 2003. Listen, man, I'm just giving you the facts. I know a lot of people don't like the Cowboys outside of Dallas, but I just got to keep it real. Like when you look at it from the totality, and you look at the division, there's going to be a team that's going to emerge, but Dallas could be that team that emerged. They didn't make the playoffs last year, so they could be that team that actually emerges. But anywho.
Every year there's new teams that's one thing about the NFL. Every year there's new teams that go in the playoffs, and the Cowboys could be that team this year.
Absolutely. Now we go to the AFC. So who do you think could potentially, out of the AFC? Now, any team, what do you think is going to be the favorite out of that? Because there's a lot of good teams in the AFC.
Do we run it back with the Patriots?
Hell no. Hell no.
What about the Broncos, Jody? Are the Broncos gonna get back right? I mean, they get the quarterback back. Their defense was top tier last year. I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in all this shit. You ain't gonna like this. I'm gonna say your favorite quarterback, Joe Burrow, stays healthy, and the Bengals make a run this year. I like what they did defensively, and they have the weapons on offense. If old Joe drinks enough milk and keep them bones healthy, I think the Bengals can do some damage in the AFC next year.
I mean, I like your pick. I just don't trust Joe Burrow. I just don't.
I know. That's why I said
he has not gave me anything to believe that he's going to be healthy. 3 out of 6 seasons he's played, he's injured. He's been injured and on the IR for multiple games. We ain't talking about 1 or 2 games. He's missed 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9, 10 games in the season. And does he have the talent? He's probably the most talented quarterback in the NFL. He's just as talented as my son, Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes, outside of last year, was one of the most durable players, not just quarterbacks, one of the most durable players in the NFL.
I agree.
He was, even when he had the ankle injuries and things of that nature, he still was able to perform. Joe Burrow can't walk and chew gum without spraining his toe. I don't know. And it's not like when Joe Burrow going down, he's going down with major injury. He's going down with stuff with his hand, stuff with his toes and stuff like that. But I like that pick with Cincinnati, and because they do have Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is going to be very much a difference maker on that Bengal defense. He's going to be a difference maker. We know about Jamar Chase. We know what T. Higgins can do with Chase Brown. Chase Brown is going into a contract year at running back. The running backs seem to be getting paid more money.
Yes, sir.
So do you want to pay Chase Brown when we know, let's say he goes and have 1,100 yards and we pay him like he a number one, or do you let him walk? Because you're like, man, I'm not about to pay Chase Brown. He's not a top 5 running back in his league. I can't pay him like that. And we already paying Joe Burrow top 5 quarterback money. We paying Jamar Chase top 5 wide receiver money, and we're paying T. Higgins top 10 wide receiver money. We got to pay Dexter Lawrence. Like, so you see what I'm saying? Like, So that's where Chase Brown contract is going to come into play. And Chase Brown will have to come and have a 1,700 yard season to be even considered with that new contract extension. So that's going to be very interesting. My man Richard Novell, he said the Patriots have a good chance. He said I think the Chiefs remain the conference crown. He believed that the Chiefs are still going to be up there. So you say the Bengals, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go back and say this, man, and I know nobody's gonna agree with this, but I think that the Houston Texans, man, I think that CJ Stroud is gonna get it right. I think he's not gonna. He still almost won, and he turned the ball over 5 fucking times. He still almost won, bro. Like I think CJ Stroud. I think the running game is gonna be that much better with Montgomery up there. I think the offensive line that they revamped the offensive line. I think the Texans, who I thought could have won last year, I think the Texans is the team that you got to really pay attention to, man. I think the Texan defense should be as good as advertised. We arguably had the best defense in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think nobody would argue that, even though Denver would be like, hey, wait, not so fast. But the Houston Texans, man, if they can run the ball and they can cut back on turnovers, I think that they can come out. But what do you think about the Buffalo Bills? So
that's another team that I think they moved their offense coordinator and the head coach. I told you they're going to fire their coach last year, Joe. I think Buffalo is going to be legit. Long as Josh Allen don't have to do every fucking thing. Seemed like he was trying to have to do everything for the team to even get to where they were at last year. If they get more balance and run the ball more, stop trying to make Josh Allen to a running back, I think Buffalo can be legit also in the AFC.
Buffalo, I'm still kind of scared on Buffalo. Buffalo is a team. We know Josh Allen is the modern day John Elway. I've been saying this since I've seen him play. What he's done with Buffalo is what they used to do in the 80s with John Elway. They put everything on his back and expected him to do great things no matter what the circumstances and situations was. Buffalo, I think they're going to be good. They always have been good. But I think that not winning the division last year and giving the New England Patriots that confidence that they need, and that hard-nosed coach and Vrabel coming in and I don't know, man. That's a new head coach in Buffalo. I don't know Buffalo's chances, at least in year one. Let's talk New England Patriots. What do you like about the New England Patriots?
They have a young upstart quarterback. They got a legit number one in AJ Brown now. Their running game's a little bit shaky last year. The offensive line was a little bit shaky. They got lucky in the playoffs. Like you said, the quarterback from Houston was doing a Stevie Wonder impression, throwing to the other team. They got lucky when they played the Broncos. The Broncos quarterback was hurt, and all of a sudden a snowstorm happened, and everything worked out perfect for New England. And like you said, Joel, you mentioned about an hour ago that they're also going to be playing on a tougher schedule. That's another thing they're going to have to deal with. So, and they got the allegations of the head coach and all this stuff going on with him. And AJ Brown, if things don't go well, we already know how he gets down. He'll burn down the Carter as well. But they're going to be legit. If everything goes right for them early in the season, they'll be right there too. They know how to get to the Super Bowl. They just did it last year.
I want to see the growth. Pause.
Oh.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about stretching and growth, but I do want to see how Drake May has matured from year 2 into year 3. I want to see how he learns from the Super Bowl experience that he had by seeing the defense like the Seattle Seahawks in that defense. Like you just said, during the playoffs, you had I hate to say any team has an easy role in professional sports. I hate to say any team, but you had the luxury of CJ Stroud, like you said. I think he thought that the Patriots jerseys was his jerseys. I think they must be. That's what he was looking colorblind out there. Then they go, like you said, you have Bo Nix get hurt on a freak design quarterback run, hurt to break his ankle. A play that didn't even need to really be called. If you go back and look at that game, and I'm not, hindsight is 2020, but they didn't have to call that play. They were already centered. They already was in field goal range. They really didn't even. They could have did a quarterback sneak, or they could have took a knee, but he broke his ankle on that play. So I think that they had it, and then you meet up with the buzzsaw called the Seattle Seahawks. So I just think that New England, they'll be fine defensively. They got a lot of young stars. They got a kid on their defense named Woodson. It seemed like everybody in the NFL with the last name Woodson seemed to be great. He's going to be a second-year guy, so pay attention to that safety in New England. Last name is Woodson. But so let's move on. So Kathy said Indianapolis. She said Indianapolis Colts or the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if the Colts are gonna make any noise because the Colts, they don't even have a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
They signed Daniel Jones to a 2-year, like $100 million deal, and he probably not even played this whole season. And the backup quarterback that I thought should have got an opportunity, he wants out. Richardson wants out. Have you seen Richardson?
No, I haven't seen him lately.
Oh, he's bulked up. This dude looked like a tailback, bro. He really worked on his body in the offseason.
Hope he can stay healthy.
That I'm thinking that's what he did so he can get, maybe he can stay on the field because he's going to get an opportunity to play the quarterback position because I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be ready. And if I'm the Indianapolis coach, he got hurt in December. That means the injury that he has, he's supposed to come back in December. That means he will miss pretty much half the season. Do you bring Daniel Jones back or do you try to see what you got in Anthony Richardson for at least one more year before you part ways with him?
With modern medicine, Jody, I don't know, man. We can't say that he's going to sit out the whole season. These dudes get back a whole lot quicker than what they used to. And what was it? It was a torn ACL? What was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, he tore something in his knee. I know it was a year.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was a year injury.
Yeah, but nowadays, shit, that's 6 months possibly. I mean, look at your guy. He's already out there practicing, and he got hurt towards the end of the season last year. I think he got hurt like the last 2 games of the season when he tore his ACLs. And he's out there. I mean, he don't look 100%, but I think by week 1 he's gonna be ready. So you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's all subjective. I didn't think he was a great quarterback, and he was healthy.
No,
y'all thought he was great.
That's true. I never thought he was great. I mean, they won some games with the Colts, but we just like to give you a hard time, but because we know you like Daniel Jones, but we never thought he was a great quarterback.
But this is the thing. It's not that I don't like that. I gotta always clear this up every time. It's not that I don't like Daniel Jones.
You don't like him, Jody. It's all right, dog.
I just feel like he got praise for nothing. Go look at his numbers, and then all of a sudden everybody want to dissect when I say stuff about other quarterbacks. Well, look at this. But then when I give y'all the facts about Daniel Jones, well, you hating. No, it'd be different if he was only in the league for 2 or 3 years and he was putting up them numbers. He's been in the league going on 8 or 9 years now.
But when you win, especially quarterbacks, you get credit for shit sometimes you don't do. When you're a winning quarterback. Now let me finish. Last year, he was on a winning team until he got hurt. Am I right? That's all we were giving him credit for. Not all this shit that happened in New York. That we were just giving him credit for at the time they were winning football games. Whether it was him doing well or not doing well, they were getting him credit for at that moment. I think they were 6-2, 6-3, or some shit like that. They were getting credit for that. That's all.
Well, I'm gonna debunk that theory. It's if you like the quarterback or you want to go against me. Because when Deshaun Watson was 5-1, everybody kept saying that didn't mean anything. When
Deshaun Watson is never gonna get the benefit of the doubt because the court of public opinion is the whole happy ending thing. So no matter what he does, if he win a fucking Super Bowl, people are gonna bring that shit up. That's
my point. You just made my point even stronger. If people on the show, they would argue when I say, okay, he's 5-1 as a starter, and remember he got hurt. In his last game that he played, he beat the Baltimore Ravens on the road 33-31. And that was the last game he played of any significance, and Cleveland ended up going to the playoffs this year. So when I bring that up, everybody like, man, you just being a homer. No, I just gave y'all facts. Was he playing great football? It wasn't like he was playing bad. And I'll read off the stats he had against Arizona. I read off the stats he had against Tennessee. I read off he beat the Cincinnati Bengals. And I tell people these particular numbers, and then it's always you put that to the side. But I talk about Daniel Jones, and everything he does is the best thing since fucking sliced bread. I'm gonna give you another quarterback scenario. When Tim Tebow was winning football games, everybody wanted him out of there. So it's not a race thing because they did it to Tim Tebow. And then Anthony Richardson has a winning record as a starting quarterback. So I'm confused on if you like the person or you don't.
But when you do shit, now people look at Anthony Richardson as a quitter because he tapped out of a football game. I'm not saying these allegations or they should stick to you forever. I don't agree with this, but when people think Anthony Richardson right now, they think a quitter because he tapped out of a game. Am I right, Jody?
I agree with that. But Daniel Jones has lost a lot of games. Do we look at Daniel Jones as a fucking loser?
Not last year. They don't.
I'm talking about look at his career. He's under 500 by like 20-something games for his career.
That's okay though. But if you look at the guy that won the Super Bowl last year, he wasn't lighting the world on fire. But last year he won the fucking Super Bowl. So no one, the shit that happened in the past, no one really cares about that in that moment. If you
Exactly.
take care of business, all of a sudden people are saying this guy from Seattle is a great quarterback, and I don't think that. I think he's fucking Trent Dilfer. I don't think he's that fucking good.
Listen, that's what I said.
Sorry, Trent Dilfer, you had to catch a stray on that one.
Hey, contract and public opinion. If people like you, they give you the benefit of the doubt. If they don't, you don't. Like I could give y'all numbers and give y'all facts about guys that I like because y'all don't like these particular players, y'all think I'm being homers or y'all like, oh, you just trying to put some numbers. I give y'all numbers about and go look at Anthony Richardson's numbers as a starter. He has a winning record. But Andy Young, go look at Deshaun Watson the year that Cleveland 2 years ago when he actually played after his suspension. He was 5-1. 5-1, and we ended up going to. But he actually had the most wins that season for a starting quarterback on the Cleveland roster. Even though remember Joe Flacco got in there and they had Tucker had got in there, but he still had the most wins as any because we only had 11 wins on the season. So the other 6 wins was split up between like 3 different quarterbacks. But anyway, Donald said if Daniel Jones don't play this year and the next year I'm garbage. Just say it. It's because the fresh back from injury, then you get another contract after that. And he said, y'all know how I feel about winning and losing don't mean you're good or not. You could be 17-0 and I would still say you're ass. Donald said, I just think winning doesn't matter. Only like tennis, where you win makes you better than the next person because it's a one-on-one competition. So I do understand that.
Oh, yeah.
I get it, but like I said, you can still tell who's good or bad when it comes to quarterbacks. You can tell a motherfucker can throw a pass or he can't. But once again, before we get to our next segment, before I get you out of here, our next segment is going to be college football. College football is brought to you by our sponsor, Michael Wright, attorney at law. If you got any wrongful deaths, personal injuries, workman comp situations, you can call him in any of the 50 states in the United States. Give him a call. Just call Mike at 937-222-7477. Just call Mike. But so we got college football preview, man.
Yes, sir.
We're about 92 days, I believe, away from our first kickoff. So, I mean, it's going to go extremely fast because, you know, the summertime always seems to go fast for some odd reason. I don't know why. The best times of your life seem to go by the quickest. But, you know,
running out. Hey, brother, the older we get, we're running out of summers, baby. We got to enjoy all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And you got to enjoy every minute.
Yes, sir.
Every minute, because there's some stuff going on in my city, man. It's crazy work, and I ain't gonna even get into that. But just pray for the city of Dayton. We losing a lot of people, man, at a younger age. And it's not just the violence; it's the natural causes. Crazy how many people. Every time I look up, there's a RIP to somebody that I know. But I don't want to bring the show down. Let's get it back up to get the energy back up on here. So college football preview, man. So we're gonna go around the conferences, but before we get to the conferences. Tell me, do you think there's a preseason Tulane or James Madison that we're not talking about that's not in a particular conference or the Power Four that could potentially make it to the 12-team playoffs?
Wow. No, I don't see that happening this year, Jody. I really think, bro, they got a lot of backlash for putting those teams in the 12. We talked about it. Everyone did on other platforms. I think this year we're going to have nothing but big name schools in that 12. I don't see any smaller schools making it by some weird tiebreakers. I don't see that happening this year.
See, I'm scared because I know my man King Minks out there. He got the AAC conference. That got Memphis and South Florida, and one of those teams scare me. Like a team like a South Florida, even Tulane getting the opportunity to get back. Tulane got a quarterback, the kid they got from BYU. I think he returns at quarterback. And I'm scared so that it's going to be another James Madison or Tulane that's going to be in the – I don't think they put 2 teams in there, but I can see maybe 1 because they're not playing. They could potentially run the table. And if you're South Florida and you run the table in that conference and you don't – South Florida was really good last year. Remember they knocked off, I believe, did they beat the Miami – Hurricanes, or they almost beat the Miami Hurricanes, but they beat Florida State or something like that. They beat a good team. No, they beat Florida. Was it Florida?
They beat somebody.
They beat somebody. I can't remember. But anyway, South Florida could be the Tulane or the James Madison the next year. So that would be the one I would say because they got a lot of their guys coming back this year. And like I said, anything can happen. but they always seem to lose to a team in conference like a Memphis. I thought Memphis could have ran the table, but Memphis, they came up short. They'll clip each other, but if Tulane, James Madison, South Florida, and Memphis are the teams that could be this year's version of those teams that we didn't want to see in there, like the Boise States of the year one. Do you think Boise State had a chance to get back to where they were?
No, I'm telling you, they got a lot of backlash that the NCAA did. And even those games that they when those smaller schools did play, they didn't put them on prime time. They put them on PBS, whatever channel they put them damn games on. They didn't even show them in prime time. Jody, they couldn't even make the cock last year. During the tournament. So no, I really don't see it. They're going to find a way. Because last year, I don't give a damn what you say. Tulane should have made it. I know I'm going to sound like a homer. I don't care. My Longhorns, a 3-loss team, should have made the tournament over teams like Tulane. No disrespect to our people out there that listen to our show that went to school at Tulane, but you are not on the same level as a team like Texas and some of these other schools that probably should have made it with 3 losses.
Hey, Ken Ming said this Memphis Tigers ain't gonna do nothing. You'd be surprised. But this is I agree with you so on that. Like my thing is, man, when you're looking at those teams, and it's no disrespect to the James Madisons of the world or the Tulanes of the world or the Boise States or the Armies or the Navies or whatever team that sneaks into the tournament. This is not college basketball. Nope. And I know we used to argue about this all the time with Mike on the show. College basketball is a different beast. But even in college basketball, you have yet to ever see a small mid-major team not win a championship. You might see a lower tier Big Ten team win it. You may even see, like, remember NC State won it back in, I think, 85. They was able to upset the Georgetown Warriors, but they still was in the ACC. When Villanova won it the first time, they're still in the Big East. So we're not talking. I'm talking about you're never going to see Miami of Ohio win the national championship in basketball. You're never going to see, you're never going to see Toledo. You're never going to see UTSA win a national championship in basketball. And that goes even double and triple in football because, once again, you just said this, I think, like a month ago. You said these teams like UTSA have a star player. Texas come to their practice and say, okay, what you getting paid? We're going to triple that. Come on over and play for the Longhorns. That's just how it goes. So they're never going to be able to put together enough talent year in and year out to even be, because like I say, we talk about a team like a South Florida. So let's say they get a whole bunch of 3-star recruits, and then they build their 3-star recruits up until they become, that conglomerate team. But by that time, now with the NIL, if you got a guy that's a 3-star, and then his sophomore year he has 150 tackles, he's going to be Ohio State Buckeye next year.
Yep.
You see 100%. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so putting the James Madisons and putting the Tulanes, putting the Memphises in there, putting the South Floridas in the tournament is really not even a good look when you can get some very good competition. Because last year, if you'd have put the Texas Longhorns in over Tulane, I believe what was the other team that we were thinking should have got in? BYU.
Notre Dame too. We talk about Notre Dame making it too. They should have made
Notre Dame, BYU. Those teams would have been a better fit, and we would have got better games, and we would have had more competition if they would have done that. And I think Oregon played they played James Madison, and then Tulane played against who? Who did Tulane play last year?
Oregon?
No, Oregon played James Madison.
Who's the other team that was it the team that Ole Miss?
Ole Miss, yeah.
Ole Miss, yeah.
So it's like you basically just gave 2 wins away. I mean, there was no way that they were going to be. But I bet if Ole Miss would have had to play Texas, and I bet if Oregon had to play Notre Dame, it would have been we might have been singing a different tune.
Yep. Rather the game with Ole Miss and Texas is good or not don't matter. The ratings would have been through the roof because of the big names.
But that's a problem I got too. So I'm so sick of college football trying to dictate who's going to sell tickets instead of putting a good product out there. If they put a good product out there, people are going to watch. This is college football. People love college football. I think they love college football more than they love the NFL. And a lot of people that's from that particular town, they don't give a fuck. They going to travel. Notre Dame was going to travel. If Notre Dame would have made, I don't care where they would have played, Notre Dame would have had a lot of fans in that stadium. The Texas Longhorns would have had a lot of fans in that stadium. But to lead those 2 teams at home and put a James Madison in there, And at the very least, this is another thing. ACC was won by Duke, and then Duke don't even get in. Then what's the point of having the championship game if you're not going to put the champion in the tournament?
There's some dumbass tiebreaker. That's why they end up not getting in, which makes no fucking sense to me.
But I don't know, man. It's going to be a very exciting season, and let's get let's get into it then. So, give me the best team or teams in the SEC.
Oh, you already know. Hook 'em all fucking day. The Texas Longhorns. I know I say this every year. I'm going to continue to say it. They are the best team in the SEC. I think they got back enough starters on this roster to be probably better. They got backed up. I'm going to say it again. My Heisman finalist, Manning's going to be back. Their defense is going to be solid once again. I think Georgia's still Georgia, but not all the way back. And Alabama's still not all the way back from what they were. There's some other good teams in the conference. We don't know if A&M is going to finally beat Big Brother, and I don't see that happening. I'm going to go Texas Longhorns, the best team in the SEC.
When we look at the SEC, man, there's so many varieties of teams that you can choose from. It depends on. Yeah. It's like you go to Baskin Robbins and you like, okay, what's your flavor, neighbor? Like what Method Man say, well, that's my flavor, neighbor. So it's like you got the Texas Longhorns. If you look at the Texas Longhorns on paper, I don't think it's no team talent-wise more talented, recruited better, or use their NIL money better than the Texas Longhorns. But we all know the cream of the crop for so many years right now has been the Georgia Bulldogs. So you don't want to say, hey, Georgia has relinquished that. I don't think they have yet because Texas has yet to beat them when it mattered yet. Not saying they can't. Oklahoma's another good team. They get their quarterback back. He should be back healthy and playing all year. He was before he got hurt, everybody thought he was going to run away with the Heisman. So you got Maynard, Joe Maynard. He'll be back. But these are some teams that nobody's talking about. Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah.
Ole Miss got two potential Heisman Trophy candidates, and I believe the best quarterback in the country that could have potentially have been the best quarterback in this year's draft if he decided to come out, even over Mendoza. And we're talking about Trinidad Chambers. I think this kid has showed that he's Russell Wilson 2.0. I think he has that ability. He has the running ability. He can make every throw on the field. And then they got Lacey, Kawan Lacey at running back. This guy is a stud. So they got two offensive weapons that Ole Miss can maybe push the pal and potentially sneak up in there. That's why, why did Lane Kiffin leave? When I understand a lot of bullshit came out about the racial tension there, but you didn't care about that shit 4 years ago. Why are you just now saying it now? You know what I'm saying?
He found a sexier woman. He went. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying the Ole Miss is not that they've done a great job. Lane Kiffin did building that program back up, but he went from an 8 to a 10. I mean, it is what it is. The job he got now was a better job than the Ole Miss job.
I don't think there's at this juncture of college football with the amount of money on NIL and the amount of opportunities, and then you were just in the playoffs. LSU wasn't in the playoffs. It hasn't been in the playoffs. They hasn't been good since Coach O was running with Joe Burrow. Like, let's keep it real. Joe Burrow been in the league. He going on his second contract. So how long ago was that? You're getting the same players at Ole Miss that LSU was getting.
LSU got way more money than Mississippi, bro.
Man,
that LSU got deep pockets, Jody.
That's cool. But when Nick Saban got to Alabama, was anybody thinking that Alabama was going to win all these championships?
Well, Alabama had a history of winning.
They hadn't won nothing since '92. But we're talking got there was 07.
But I don't like that comparison, Jody, because not that Nick Saban wasn't paying players, but now it's actually legal to pay players. So LSU can go out there and tell Lane Kiffin, this is what your budget is. You got $80 million. It's a free agency. Go do whatever the fuck you want. So I think today's college sports is so much different because of that. And I think if you get called from another school and they tell you, hey, what's your salary cap at Ole Miss? Well, it's $45 million. We give you 90. Well, shit. Where do I sign? It happens, Joe. I know you like the loyalty thing. You're a Browns fan. You all those other good things, but not everybody has your mentality, Joe. There's a lot of guys that are looking for that next great bag, and that Lane Kiffin has been known for moving around, whether he gets fired or just goes to another job. He always using his current job as a stepping stone to find his so-called better job. He's always been like that.
And I agree with everything you said. Makes legitimate sense. I get it. But my thing is, Ole Miss, you had an opportunity to be one of the greatest coaches of all time, because just like I said earlier in the show, when LeBron James won a championship in Cleveland, that was worth 3 championships, his other 3 championships combined, because what he did at an organization that wasn't used to winning. Ole Miss is not used to winning. Like, they're used to going 8-5. They used to, the 8-5 is a good season down. Used to be an 8. You went 9-4, 8-5 down there with Ole Miss. You had a good season. You wasn't getting fired. If you can do that, stay under the radar, you could coach Ole Miss for 30 fucking years. You can't do that at LSU. LSU, you go 8-5. Look what happened to Brian Kelly. Go ahead and go over there and go over there and have the same shit. Brian Kelly he was like 34-14 and got fucking fired mid-season. At the only losses he had, every loss he had was teams in the top 15. So if Lane Kiffin want this pressure, go ahead, do your thing. I don't think LSU is going to be that great this year. I think LSU is, I mean, to me, great is winning the championship at LSU. I think they win 8 games, and I think they serviceable. But I think the SEC is once again stacked. We got to look at teams that's on the uprise. Is Vandy going to continue this ride? Is South Carolina going? They got their quarterback and Sellers back. Can they put something together over in South Carolina? But the SEC, man, got a ton of team. Auburn, Auburn is always on the fence. We don't know if Auburn is either going to be really fucking good or really fucking bad.
Yeah, my homeboy at work, he's a big Auburn fan. He said he'd be happy if they win 6 games to get to a bowl game. That's what he told me. He just told me that yesterday at work. He's like, hey, man, look, my expectations are very low. He said, if we made the Holiday Bowl, I'm cool. That's what he told me yesterday. Nigga, we in the Holiday. I'm gonna talk to my boy Reggie. Reggie said, look, nigga, if we make the Holiday Bowl, I'm Gucci after that.
Yo, he said the Holiday Bowl? That's crazy work. But the team that could be a sneaker, though, and I want people to keep an eye on Tennessee. And I'm not just saying that. Tennessee is really a team.
I like
they lost a lot of talent, the other UT, but and we ain't talking about urinary tract infections, but but yeah, it's a lot of good teams in SEC. But if I'm gonna pick, I still got Georgia. King of the Hill, and I'm gonna go with this. I got Georgia 1, I got Ole Miss 2, and I got Texas 3. What's your 3 top teams?
Texas, the Longhorns at 2, and the University of Texas at 3. I'm gonna go Texas 1. I really like your Ole Miss pick. I'm gonna go Ole Miss 2. I like their quarterback. I'm a little worried about their defense, and I'm gonna go Georgia 3 because they're Georgia.
Okay, that's good stuff. Well, let's go ahead and move on to another conference that is kind of stacked. They won the last 3 champions, being Ohio State, Michigan, and the Indiana Hoosiers. Who are your best teams? We know what Ohio State can do. We know outside Ohio State. No, fuck it. Who's your best teams? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm definitely going Ohio State. They're going to run it back, and their quarterback has a little bit more seasoning. He didn't play well in that game against Miami, but it is what it is. The whole team kind of let him down, but he's going to be back. And they're stacked. They got back to great running backs. They upgraded more at wide receiver. They're going to be a problem this year. Their defense is going to be stacked. So Ohio State is definitely, to me, for my money, the best team in the conference. And Oregon, they're regular season champions, and they're going to be right there too. I don't think they can win the championship because I think they're not very good in big games. But they're a threat. And Indiana had their one shining moment. I don't think they're going to go back to being Indiana this year. They might be playing Auburn in that Holiday Bowl this year. So I don't think they're going to be what they were. And Michigan, I'm really not really sold on their quarterback yet. People are saying he's kind of struggling throwing the football. So I'm going to go Ohio State 1, and I'm going to go Oregon 2.
I'm going to say this. When it comes to talent, the Oregon Ducks is by far the most talented team in the Big Ten. I think they are able to get more talent, but putting it all together is different. Oregon's quarterback and Dante Moore, and then they go get the other kid out of Nebraska that did not. He thought Dante Moore was going to go pro. He thought Dante Moore was going to go pro, and he didn't go pro. So I look at it, man. We got a comment said winning doesn't always prove who's better, except in individual sports like tennis, where just verse me. In the team sport, victories depend on the whole squad. Anybody can win with the team clicks So it's not just about one player being better than another. Now, pardon me. Now the problem I have with that, if that's the case, and I'm gonna get back to the Big Ten. If that's the case, why is it that every year when you change the quarterback, all of a sudden when you change the quarterback, that's when you start winning? If it's not about one person.
Quarterbacks are very important, man. Why do you think people transfer? They're moving the earth and God to try to get a quarterback. In college football, we have free agency every year. And what's the first position they show up? They bring up, Joe, they win this college free agency. Quarterbacks. Everyone's got to get a quarterback. And most of these quarterbacks of late that's been winning championships or go to the championship, they're transfers from other schools. You know first-hand knowledge of that. So the quarterbacks are very important in not only college sports and NFL as well.
I just laugh at that when I hear that. I know Donald says it all the time. But my thing is, if that's the case, then everybody said, well, Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl off that defense. Okay, if that was the case, if anybody could have did it, so why didn't Tony Banks?
But Tony Banks was ass, though.
That's my point. Anybody just can't do it. Tony Banks was the starting quarterback. He did not score an offensive touchdown for a month, and the Baltimore Ravens still was 2-2. So I hate when people say and minimize people's greatness. And I know Don will be like, well, you saying that Brad Johnson is better than Dan Marino? He always Brad Johnson, he was the perfect fit for that team because they couldn't do it with Sean King. Remember, Sean King was the quarterback. They couldn't do it with him, but they was able to do it with Brad Johnson. So I do think that when players got it, Jameis Winston, and I know this is a little different, was on a team that wins 7 wins, and then they get Tom Brady. He win the Super Bowl next year. Now, of course, Tom Brady brought a whole bunch of players with him to Tampa Bay. But the point I'm trying to make is Seattle had Geno Smith the year before. They go get Sam Darnold and win the Super Bowl. So I do think that certain positions need to be celebrated, man. Like, it does matter. I know people don't want to believe it. But back to the Big Ten. The best team in the Big Ten, everybody's going to be like it's Ohio State Buckeyes. Everybody's Ohio State Buckeyes. They got a quarterback that I'm really not sold on. Say ain't gonna have to because he's just not mobile, man. He's too short to be a classic drop back passer. He's too short. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about, Joe? He was a Heisman finalist. I mean, when you can throw the ball 1 yard and then Smith can take it 80, like I can throw it to Smith right now. But I think Sand's gonna learn. Like I said, he's gonna be better this year. I think he's gonna learn the offense. He's gonna trust the offense. The running back, Bo Jackson, is a stud. Bo Jackson and we ain't talking about Bo Knows, but that dude was putting up big numbers. They go acquire Chris Henry Jr. as a freshman coming in. This guy, I seen him play in person in high school. My Coach Jones, Khalid Jones coached him. Actually coached him, and he actually keep in contact with him when he transferred out to California school. He keep in contact with him. But other teams, other than that, what other team? What could be the surprising team in the Big Ten? So,
who's that sleeper team? I think that can really make some hay in that conference. Maybe Penn State. Maybe they can make a run this year. I mean, they made a lot of changes, man, on that team, but they kept some of their players, but they lost their head coach. Maybe Penn State.
Penn State's a good one. Also, they said the best team in the Big Ten isn't just about the winning column. It's about the consistency, recruiting, and how well the squad plays together. Ohio State may be the powerhouse, but Oregon and Indiana are proving the conference is deeper every year. Championships matter, but the team's greatness is more than just the scoreboard. And that's a good statement because Ohio State has not won the Big Ten in several years.
Yes. It's obvious you don't need to win the conference to win the championship.
I know, but we ain't won the Big Ten probably since COVID. I think that's the last time we won the Big Ten. So we're looking at like 5-6 years since Ohio State has won the Big Ten. Kathy said the quarterback is the conductor of the band. You have to know what each team member can do or can't do, and that's very true. That's what I said. That's what makes you a better. That Trent Dilfer knew that he needed to get the ball to Shannon Sharp. He knew that. He knew Shannon Sharp was the key to that offense. He knew that giving the ball to Jamal Lewis was the key to that offense. And it's crazy. It's crazy that people sitting on Trent Dilfer and talking about, he shouldn't have won. Okay, then, like I said, if anybody could have did it, why the fuck didn't Tony Banks do it? and I want answers. If
anybody but Tony Banks, how about that?
See, that's bullshit. Because they also had Randall Cunningham at the beginning of the season, so why couldn't he do it?
I don't know if Randall was on that roster when they went
at the beginning of the season. He got cut.
Yeah, but they do cut him. Okay,
they cut him
on that team.
So he couldn't even beat out Tony Banks.
Well, maybe Randall was up in age at that point. I don't even remember him being there.
Yeah, he was up in age for sure. But also too, like I said, Brad Johnson. Everybody shitting on Brad Johnson like he was one of the weakest quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl. Okay, then why couldn't Sean King do it?
Well, you remember, Jody, before you start dumping on my guy Sean King, they had a different leadership at that time when Sean King was quarterbacking that team. They had Tony Dungy, and they were all about defense. They didn't give a shit about the offense. Their offense wasn't scoring nothing. But when they changed their head coach, that changed everything. They brought in what's his name from the
John Gruden.
Yeah, John Gruden. And John Gruden added just a little bit of offense because that defense was already there. And all of a sudden, that team went straight to the Super Bowl. That Tony Dungy was maybe too loyal to the wrong people, and that's probably why he ended up losing that job in Tampa.
But he won. He go win the Super Bowl in Indianapolis. So.
Oh yeah, he got it. He did his thing.
But my surprising team in the Big Ten, man, and I know this is going to be a little bit far-fetched. I don't think they can win nothing, and I don't think they can make the playoffs, but they're going to actually make it a little interesting. I think Wisconsin is going to bounce back this year. Wisconsin ain't going to keep fucking being bad.
Wisconsin?
They're not going to just keep being bad, though, man. You know, Wisconsin has been bad for years, and I'm not used to, you know, me growing up in the 90s being a Big Ten. I remember Ron Dane and, you know, Melvin Gordon and guys like that, Jonathan Taylor they was kind of like running back youth for a while.
Yeah, I agree.
And I Ball, White, those guys had some, you know, some really good years. And I just can't see Wisconsin being bad again. I think Wisconsin wins 7 games. I think that's a start. I think they can go 7-5, man. I think they get a decent bowl game.
Holiday Bowl.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with the Holiday Bowl. Kathy said, I can watch Peyton Manning and Dan Fouts without sound. It's beautiful because they just know everything. You like watching Dan Fouts if he didn't have no clothes on.
She watch him in slow motion.
Yeah, she want to watch it without no. You ain't slick, Kathy. I get it. You got that big crush on Dan Fouts. Hey, but this is not your conference anymore. But this is a conference that is probably one of the most up in the air conferences in the country. What are the best teams in the Big 12 now that Texas Tech quarterback? I don't know if he's going to play a game or not. Who's the best team or teams in the Big 12?
I'm still going to go Texas Tech as one of the best teams in this conference, even without the quarterback, because apparently they told him, you can keep on asking, you can't fucking play. He was gambling on games. And while he was on other rosters, whether you bet for them to win or lose, I know all these teams are in bed with these betting apps, but no, you can't do it. So I think they'll still be fine. I think they'll find another guy to go in there and play quarterback for them. But BYU, I would say BYU, they were right there last year. They're going to be tough. And also, I'm going to go SMU.
Okay.
SMU. I'm going to
go. No, SMU is in the ACC.
Shit, my fault. You right. I'm thinking about TCU.
TCU.
Yeah. I'm going to go those 3 right there.
But TCU just lost their quarterback to the Indiana Hoosiers.
That's all right.
The team that I think is going to be a team that I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say Arizona. Arizona is a team that's been building for some years. I think they're getting a lot of talent. I don't know how Arizona can't get talent out there. They can get talent for basketball. Why can't they get talent?
They're really a basketball school, honestly. I don't know what it is.
Well, money talk. Shit.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm going to tell you a team. Remember I told y'all. Remember I told you about Kansas having all that money. I think that somebody died and donated like $360 million. I'm telling you, if it's not this year, and I know they probably gave a lot of the money to Darren Peterson, the basketball team, but if they decide to go on the football side of things, because Kansas hasn't always been bad in football, you know.
They've had a few good years.
They had a few good years, and I want to see Kansas get back to the relevancy when it comes to football. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that, you know, they got the Talites of the world. And remember that quarterback they had down there? I forget his name, man. It was number 10, man. They had a little talent down there, man. So I like for Kansas, they're not going to be the favorite. But I like Arizona sneaking up in there because this conference is so wide open, man. You got Kansas State. Do they bounce back? Do Kansas State bounce back this year and somehow compete?
No, I don't see that happening. But this conference is wide open, Joey. Like you said before, beginning of the segment. If you get the right players in there, you can win this conference and get you a playoff bid. That's for damn sure.
But you probably gonna have 2 to 3 losses because it's nobody that's just dominant. Like I said, I think I'm agree with you on BYU. I think BYU is probably the best team in this conference. Even if Texas Tech did have a quarterback, I think BYU is just the most well coached. They seem to win. They're very good on special teams. So I think BYU is probably the best team in the Big 12. But let's talk about this for a second. And I know this used to be the hottest topic on our show, and now we don't. It's not even a footnote. Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado Buffaloes, man. Deion Sanders has worn out his welcome out there in Buffalo with the Buffaloes.
Wore out his welcome? No. His first year was outstanding. They had a great first year. The son was there. They had the Heisman Trophy winning. But after that, man, they just took a nosedive. They probably struggling to get talent out there, and Deion's been struggling with his health. I think Deion's going to probably have more commercials than actually wins this year. I think this is probably going to be his last year. I think he'll check out after the season. His health, man, he's having issues with blood clots and losing toes and shit like that. I think this is probably his last run for Deion there as head coach in Colorado.
Deion Sanders, Cignetti is what they thought Deion Sanders was going to be with Colorado. Is what Cignetti was to Indy. That's what they thought. Deion Sanders came in with a lot of flash, a lot of pizzazz. He had the great motivational speech. And I love Deion Sanders to death, but that man is not a great coach. He's not a great – no.
He's not.
He's not a great exit. And I said this even when they were winning games, so I don't want nobody to be like – I said this back when he was at Jackson State. Jackson State, he just had the more talented teams, but when he played against South Carolina State – where my boy Nashawn Goddard from Dayton, Ohio, was the offensive line coach. Now he's over with the LSU Tigers. My man Nashawn Goddard here from Dayton, Ohio, 2-time Super Bowl champ, Dunbar High School. He was even telling me, he was like, man, Deion, man, he don't know how to call a game. That's how we was able to dismantle him. He just used to having the best team. And sometimes you can have the best team and not be the best executioner. So when it goes out to Colorado where he has talent, your son is not there in the Heisman Trophy, and Travis Hunter is not there. And your other son, who was a playmaker in the secondary, is not there. So when you don't have these things, so it shows, and it shows on the wins and losses. Now, can he become a good coach? I don't know. But I think the best thing that Deion Sanders ever did was get guys around. He's smart enough to know that he's not that great X's and O's, that he go get coaches that are. But now you got guys like Warren Sapp, who was one of his good friends, lead a program and have a lot to say about him when he left. So I don't know what's going on out there in Colorado where they're not getting the recruits. They're not even getting the transfer portal kids. They don't like running the football. These are a lot that's indicative of what his personality is. Everybody's not going to be prime time. Everybody's not going to be neon Deion. And I think that's what happens to coaches that are that good. They expect their players to be that good. And only person, that's why he loved Travis Hunter, because Travis Hunter was a carbon copy of himself. What do you think about that, Slo?
I agree, Joe. I don't want to shit on Deion, man. I love Deion. I think he's a great role model and done a lot for the NFL. In college football, he's done some good things. But it just seems like, I'm pretty sure as a recruit, I'm pretty sure if your son was up the chance to go to Colorado, you'd be thinking, Coach Prime, are you dedicated to getting these kids to the next level? Or are you dedicated to all the other things you got going on outside of football? You know what I mean? The commercials and all the other stuff that's going on, having the rappers on the sidelines. Is your number one priority getting my son to the next level? That would be my biggest issue. And I think that's probably one of the struggles. How dedicated is Coach Prime to actually being a good college football coach? And I don't think he has that dedication.
And see, my problem with that situation is, where are all these rappers at now? Where is Lil Wayne and where is Rick Ross? All these people that was on the sideline. Where's Gilly the Kid? It's like all these people want to be front runners when it's time, when they're winning. And when they remember it was at Jackson State, I remember one time it pissed me off. Rick Ross is in his king seat. Rick Ross wasn't even watching the game. He's looking at his phone the whole fucking game.
Yeah, bro. They just want to be in the moment. They just want to be there because it's the hot thing going on.
You know, and it's very sad. It saddens me that it's going out like that, because once again, he took over a team that had one win. So whatever he does is a plus. He sold a lot of merchandise, and he's has he changed the culture in Colorado? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got to understand, Colorado is not a school that's not used to winning. If you go back in the day, Colorado won a national championship. Do y'all not? They were getting recruits like Cordell Stewart,
Eric Bieniemy,
Rashad Salam, who won the Heisman Trophy, rest in peace. They were getting the Chad Browns of the world. They were getting talented players in Colorado. Like let's make no mistake about that. And now because people are prisoners of the moment, they don't do a lot of the initial history reviews and see that Colorado, when they were in the Big 8, they were competing with Nebraska every year. They were competing with Oklahoma every year. That's before Texas, because Texas was in the SWAC. That was before Texas came over to the Big 12. But yeah, so I think Colorado, Deion, man, I understand what you're saying about his health, and that could be his way out. But do you think if he gets out, do you think he's done? You think if he leaves Colorado, do you think he gets another job anywhere else?
I don't think so, Joe. I think it's just so much dedication to make yourself a great. It's like you don't have any time off, and Deion don't really need to do this shit. I think the dedication to get yourself into to be a great coach. I don't know if Prime is built for that. I just don't see it.
Okay. Sadiq, well, my guy Sadiq, man, big shout out to him. He's one of the engineers of Against the Grain Sports. Want to give him a big shout out right there. He said, yeah, that's a really good point. It's definitely been a roller coaster for him, and he can tell the health issues are taking its toll. So yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to wonder if this is last season coaching. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Talking about Deion Sanders, and like I said, I just want him. First of all, I want health first.
Oh yeah.
But once again, man, you can praise Deion, which I've always praised Deion. But in the same breath, as an analyst, as us doing a podcast, as us doing sports journalism, we have to keep it real. And keeping it real, Deion he's not been a very good coach. If I rated him on a scale of 1 to 10, Deion is like a 5.5 as a head coach. And the reason why he gets that amount is because he's a master motivator. Now that's what it's a difference between being a motivator and a recruiter than actually being a coach, because people not going to like what I'm about to say about this. I don't necessarily think that Nick Saban was a great X's and O coach.
Nope.
I just think that he's a great motivator. You can listen. I can listen to Nick Saban talk all day long. I mean, he's always saying profound statements. And I think, once again, when you're paying the amount of money that Alabama was paying, I don't give a fuck what y'all. Yeah, they were paying players, because who the fuck?
Oh, hell yeah, they were.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The best recruits in the world want to play in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Get the hell out of here. So Nick Saban was able to get the best players. He would take one 5-star out and put another 5-star in, where other schools are taking the 5-star out, having to put a 3-star in. That's the difference. So
it was a bad look when during the season last year and probably the year before. Deion, you're not calling plays, Joe. You know what I'm saying, Jody? And bro, you can't even manage the timeouts. That really was a bad look. That's one of your number one priority, is to manage the timeouts, and he had a problem doing that. Deion just an all-time great. He just not going to be a great coach.
Yeah, and I mean, I say he was okay. You know, he had some great years in Jackson with Jackson State. You know, getting the HBCU, the publicity that they needed. You always, you know, I'm always ever grateful for Deion. And just because you coach doesn't mean you always got to be the best at it. And that's what I think a lot of time when you see people, not only just in coaching or playing, everybody think when you get on the field or you get on the court or whatever it is, you get in the booth, you got to be the best that ever did it. Sometimes you just can be another person, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Deion Sanders is going to be another coach. That's okay. Y'all hyped him up because a lot of people dislike Deion from back in his playing days. You know, it's the New York Giants still don't like this nigga because remember when he was supposed to interview at the draft, he said, I ain't interviewing with y'all. I ain't gonna be around at 10. Like, why would I interview with y'all when I know I'm a top 5 pick?
Yeah.
Why would I waste y'all time or mine? You know, so nevertheless, but we got one more team to talk about, one more conference. And this is your favorite conference, the air conditioner conference. I mean,
the People's Champ Conference.
The People's Champ Conference, man. But it's a lot better than it's been, at least on paper, coming into this season with the emergence of Virginia Tech getting a new head coach. I think that helps the conference overall. But give me 2 teams in this conference that you really are excited to watch this season.
I think the Hurricanes are back. I think they're gonna. I know they lost your quarterback, but still they have a lot of good weapons on offense. They still got the running back there, the really good wide receiver. Their defense a little shaky, but they played good last year. I think they're gonna be battling for that conference title this year. And I hate to say it, but I think Clemson is going to be back on top as well. I think they'll be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in this conference. And I'm going to put it out there. I think the new coach, Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech might be that sleeper team out of that conference this year. Those are my 3 teams in the ACC.
See, my thought process, I'm gonna agree with you. I think that Clemson, because they didn't fall too far off. I mean, they had a very bad year considered.
But they won 7. What they win 6 games or 7?
7. They won 7 games, but considering what Clemson used to be, you gotta think for about a 6-year span, Clemson was as good as any team in the country. And that's including Alabama and Ohio State. Because they beat both Ohio State and they beat Alabama. Because they won, you got to think Clemson had won 2 national championships with 2 different quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson won one and Trevor Lawrence won another. So when you're looking at Clemson as a whole, and then Dabo Swinney being as stubborn as he has been, not dipping into the transfer portal and not really wanting to spend NIL money. Now he realized, like, hold on, whoa, I got to spend this money. Sometimes that arrogance and that stubbornness can make it where you lose your fucking job. You know,
that's true.
But he guess what? Somebody got in his ear and said, "Hey, coach, hey, bro, you see what LSU did with Lane Kiffin? You see that we just spent Virginia Tech to spend a ton of fucking money bringing Franklin out here, bro. You're gonna have to make some adjustments." And I think that's what he did. Now he's getting those players because we're used to him having a top-notch quarterback. I mean, he had a good run of quarterbacks, and he hasn't had the quarterback that just left, Klubnik, was supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country when he recruited him. So that tells me that Clemson is not developing the quarterbacks like they used to. Because if you got the best quarterback in the country and then he's not playing up to what, the Trevor Lawrences of the world and the Deshaun Watsons, and remember they had Taj Boyd. People forget they had Taj Boyd before that. They got to play up to that level of expectations for Clemson to be good. And I think they're getting all the players because you look at the draft, they just Parker and Terrell. These guys that went in the first round or the second round. So they got guys on these rosters, man. They got a ton of talent at the receiver position because they were arguably up for wide receiver U2. You remember with DeAndre Hopkins, Sammy Watkins.
Watkins, yep.
They had some receivers come out of there. They had your boy
Hunter Renfro. They had some good wide receivers come out of there.
They had some good talented receivers that come out of Clemson. Then T. Higgins?
Yeah, he Clemson guy, yeah.
And they had the one kid that hurt his neck that was trying to make a comeback, and he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't remember his name right here, but he hurt his neck. But he was really good. But outside of Clemson, so man, man, Miami's gonna be good. But can Florida State really put it together, man? Can Florida State put it together, man? Yes or no?
Oh shit. I'm gonna say yes. If they don't, it's gonna be some more changes. I say they can put it together.
I'm scared that, first of all, I think that the head coach should have been gone. Like, I mean, Norvell has more lives than 8 cats together. And we know we like killing the cat. And did I say that on there?
You sure the hell did?
Yeah, I did. But no, all jokes aside, man, I feel like how many opportunities are you gonna give this coach? And you pull the plug on other coaches. You pull the plug on a championship coach in Jimbo Fisher, quick as fuck. But now you're giving this guy this amount of chances to be bad.
Well, I think a lot of times, Jody, I don't see their books, but they're thinking, man, if we get rid of this dude, we gotta fucking pay him, and then we gotta go get big money and ask the booster for some more money to get another coach in here. They're like, no, what? We're gonna ride this out. Give him another year or so, see if we can fix it, and then maybe they probably secretly looking for another coach just in case the shit don't go right. Because they save money on one more year, because that's got to be very expensive, man. They keep firing these coaches, owe them a shitload of money. They might still be paying Jimbo Fisher. Who knows all that money he was getting? Then you got to pay the guy you get fired, and then you got to pay another coach. It probably get pretty expensive after a while.
I get it, but you're Florida State, and my thing is you can't keep giving this guy opportunities to fail you. He went and got the quarterback. He had 3 transfer quarterbacks come down there, and he still can't fucking win.
Well, the other guy, the one that broke his leg a few years ago, if he wouldn't have got hurt, I mean, I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but if he wouldn't have got hurt, then possibly they would have been in the tournament that year, and they got hurt, and they got blackballed on that one.
But they've been swinging and missing on these transfer quarterbacks. They just had the kid from BC come down there and play quarterback, and then remember they had the kid from Clemson that went to Clemson to Oregon State.
He wasn't a DJ something, right?
Ugalea.
Yeah, he wasn't. I think he should have been playing linebacker or something. He was not good at quarterback, bro.
He had a brother that played defensive end that played at Oregon. He's really good at Oregon. But my thing is, you're right. He should have. He was a quarterback. But I'm just saying, you swinging and missing on these quarterbacks, and it's like you got the money. You're Florida State, bro. Like Florida State is one of the blue bloods of this country when it comes to football. Like if you put a top 10 college franchises, Florida State is in that top 10. You couldn't have you got the Texas, you got your Alabama, you got your Ohio State, you got your Notre Dame. You got to put Florida State in there somewhere.
You might be saying now, Joe, that Florida State might be the 3rd best team in the state of Florida in college football. I mean, honestly, you're going to put Miami at the best team. Maybe the Florida Gators might be better than Florida State. I don't know. I think they'll bounce back this year. So they might be the 3rd best team in the state.
Real quick, and I know we moved on to the ACC, but I forgot to mention Baylor. Baylor in the Big 12.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the Baylor Bears.
Baylor. But the reason why, because I remember they just got the quarterback, DJ Lagway. He transferred over to Baylor. I think he's going to be good going back home. He transferred from Florida, going to Baylor, going back home, playing against weaker defenses.
He's legit, man. Just got to stay healthy. He's really good.
Yeah, he need to stop throwing it to the other team. Throw it to his
He didn't have that problem when he played my long one last year. That motherfucker was lighting our ass up. I'm like, God damn, they're going to stop this nigga, man. What the hell's going on?
Kathy said Florida State to me has a 50-50 chance of getting it together. But that's anything. Anything is 50-50. And I just think Florida State has to put – they got the talent, man. They always have had the talent down there, man. Like, Florida State, if you look at the draft, they always got somebody down there. Like, you're like, damn, that dude's really, really good. But I like Florida State. My man Sadiq said Clemson is the best team in the ACC right now. Strong coaching, great recruiting, and they always seem to be in the championship conversation. They just got to continue putting that together. The quarterback is going to be key for Clemson. Who's going to play quarterback for Clemson this year?
Yes, sir.
Now, there's some bad teams in the ACC. Very, very bad teams. And one of the very bad teams in the ACC, man, I ain't going to even hold you, is the North Carolina, man. How long does Bill Belichick got before he check out UNC?
I'm surprised he's still there. I said last year, I thought that he was just going there for a figurehead and get his son to be the head coach. I think he brought his son in as the defensive coordinator of the team, but he's going to have to do a little bit better if you want to get his son to be that head coach. I think this is probably going to be his last year as head coach. Yeah,
I'm going to be surprised if he make it through the whole season. I think they're going to respect him because he is the one of the best coaches in the NFL history. I think he's going to be able to be respected and make it through this season. But this is probably going to be his last season unless he find a quarterback down there. Because that's the thing about any of these teams, especially if you're an old school head coach, you need a quarterback. Some of these guys, if you're a really, really good coach, you can figure out how to, maintain momentum and move the offense even without having a great quarterback, maybe, running a different type of offense, leaning heavily on the ground game. But North Carolina don't have a good offensive line. They don't have a good quarterback, and they don't have good position players. So the best thing they got going for them is their defense. So you can't be on the field all day long. Your best play on offense can't be a punt. So I just feel like right now, man, North Carolina is just they don't have enough money spent on the football team. Of course, a lot of money is going to go to the basketball team, especially with them just getting a new head coach and Mike Malone. I don't know, North Carolina, man. I hate to see Bill Belichick go out like this because, once again, you got people that are prisoners of the moment, and they're going to see that Bill Belichick at North Carolina. They're not going to see the Bill Belichick winning all the Super Bowls in New England. All they're going to remember is him fizzling out with North Carolina, sort of like how Bill Walsh, when he left the 49ers and went back to Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, that's what they remember because, remember, they made that football game, the college football game, Bill Walsh football. and they made the college football game. He was at Stanford, and that's what a lot of people remember Bill Walsh as, being the Stanford head coach. And he didn't do a lot out there in Stanford.
But I think a lot of people never really thought that the shit was going to work out with Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Anyway, I never thought it was going to work. And if he went to another NFL team and struggled, we would throw a little more dirt on him. But I think him going to college always seemed like a gimmick to me. Why is he coaching? He couldn't get an NFL job, so he just going to college just because. I always thought that was kind of a bad look for him.
But I agree with what you said. I think he did it strictly for his son, like to get his, because like once again, nepotism is okay when it's a certain people that's doing it. Because when LeBron James gets his son into the NBA, which all of us would have did, I know I would have got my son.
Damn right.
Well, he need a job and he can make $9 million and I ain't got to pay nothing for him no more. Why wouldn't I get him a job at my company?
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm gonna get you a job at my company and everybody's upset with it. Do you see what I'm saying? Are we looking at it from a practical standpoint? I got my son a job at the company I work at. Hey, come on down. I get you a job at the car wash. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So Bill Belichick potentially getting his son a head coaching job. I'm not mad at him at all. I mean, what do we do as parents? We supposed to set our kids up for success. So that don't mean that he's gonna be good or bad. His name is gonna weigh a lot, because if you look at a lot of coaches, you look at last name Schottenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Walshes, you look at the Belichicks, you look at the Shanahans. These guys, their kids get opportunity just because of who they fathers was.
Yeah, you're right.
The Kiffins, Lane Kiffin got a job because his dad.
Yep.
So King Mink said FSU Novell might be gone. He has have a good record and even make the playoffs to keep his job. And then Kathy said Belichick has lost his damn mind. I told y'all. Without Brady, Belichick is crap. And she said, I don't have a problem with nepotism as long as it can do the job. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't have a problem. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, look at Jerry Jones. He hires everybody in his family to work in their front office. And I don't know, man. It just seemed like when there's certain people doing nepotism, it's a problem. Like, because the way that LeBron James got slandered for getting his son an opportunity. And it'd be different if he got his, and I always say this, it'd be different if he got his son an opportunity and he was like the first pick of the draft or something like that. The dude was the 50-something pick.
Well, LeBron can't do no right in most people's eyes. Everything he does, I hope he's got really thick skin, because whatever he does, they're going to criticize his man for, no matter what it is. Like, I posted a video about LeBron, he should retire because, look like he's enjoying playing golf, being on vacation. Somebody in the comments said, he has a terrible swing. This nigga can't win.
He can't. But speaking of that, and this is my last question. The reason why we're gonna keep you on, we got a lot of people still watching. I don't wanna exit with all these people watching. If you got a little bit of time,
let's go, big dog. Come on.
So my next question, and I was gonna save it, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask: what player in any sport has lived up to expectations?
Who has I would say LeBron James. I mean, like you said, Joe, we talked about we had the show last week. LeBron has been the chosen one, like the tattoo says, since he was in the 8th grade. And they've been saying he's the next great player, and he's lived up to it. Has he won as many championships as Michael Jordan? No, he hasn't, but it's a team sport. But this guy has the most points scored in NBA history, one of the best players that ever laced him up. I would say, and no scandals, none of that. I would say LeBron James.
You say LeBron? Okay. Yeah. I was going to say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Another great one.
Kareem has lived up. Of course, he's been the tallest person probably everywhere he's went. But he's the best high school player, potentially people say, of all time, especially coming out of New York City. They said Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the best high school player, he won championships in high school. You couldn't stop him. He goes to UCLA, can't even play his freshman year, wins 3 straight championships. They made it so bad where you couldn't even dunk. He made it where they couldn't even dunk. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made him change the rule where he couldn't dunk. And then he goes to the professional and lead the Milwaukee Bucks to a championship, something they hadn't done in team history. And they only did one other time when Giannis got there 50 years later. And then he goes and he wins 5 more championships with the Los Angeles Lakers, man. I think this dude, he was the #1 pick. I think that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a guy that has lived up to expectation throughout his whole career. Not any scandals or anything with him during his playing days either. Who else you got?
Oh, I definitely agree with Kareem. It's just the LeBron thing. I'm not saying it's more impressive, Jody. I just look at it like this, bro. The social media age, there's no secrets when you're famous. LeBron can't sneeze without somebody having to criticize what he does because there's cameras, not just regular camera. Everyone's got a camera in their hand at all times. So no matter what he does, he's being criticized for it. But Kareem is definitely a great one. Who else would I think of that lived up to expectations? There's so many players that thrived off of people doubting them. So I can't say Michael Jordan because people didn't know he was going to be as good as
No,
he was.
I'm talking about actually got the hype.
Yeah.
Up
Oh, man, that's a good one, Jody. You go next. I think it's somebody else in a minute.
Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Peyton Manning, everybody thought Peyton Manning was going to be the truth, and he was the truth. And this is a guy that was highly recruited out of high school. Of course, his dad was in the NFL. Of course, you know, Arch Manning, the great Arch Manning for New Orleans Saints, NFL royalty. He goes to Tennessee, but he doesn't win the championship in Tennessee. Couldn't beat the Florida Gators for some odd reason, but he gets to the pros, breaks every record in the pros. Of course, his records have been broken since, but does win 2 Super Bowls. So to live up to the type of expectations that he had to live up to, you had another guy next to him, Ryan Leaf, that was a pick after him that could not live up to the expectations, that could not fulfill his talent on the field. So I think it's the criticism of Peyton Manning really not having any really scandal off the field outside of the incident he had with the Tennessee trainer.
Yeah.
Really never got any legs. NFL, he had no issues in the NFL. I say Peyton Manning lived up to expectations.
Here's another one for you, Jody. I'm gonna go Ken Griffey Jr.
Yes.
I mean, he was a great player as well. A lot of expectations for him. You know, back in baseball, you don't normally you stay in the minor leagues for 4 or 5 years before you make it pro. This kid came out, showed up, one of the sweetest swings ever, one of the best players to ever play baseball. I'm gonna go Ken Griffey Jr.
That's a damn good one. Absolutely. Kathy got some good ones. She said Bill Russell and Larry Joe Bird. A person that I feel like lived up to expectations was Serena Williams. Serena Williams defied all odds coming out of Compton, California, having a sister that was really good. But they said she was going to be this great player when she was 12 years old, and she proved to be the best, in my opinion, the best female athlete of all time. And not just the best female athlete. I think she's one of the best athletes of all time. Serena Williams is probably in the top 10 best athletes of all time. Argue with your mama on that one. Serena is that good. She's definitely the best female tennis player and the best female that has probably touched any sport. And like I said, she's up there with all the other athletes in the world in history. She's that good.
Oh yeah, Serena's legit, man. I mean, and now she's back playing. I don't know, like we talked about this, so I don't know what's her plan. She just wanted to come back and play a little bit, and she's trying to win some tournaments. I don't know. It's gonna be very difficult, but Serena's definitely lived up to all the hype she has since she was a kid.
The one that I wanted to say, but I can't say, was Tiger Woods because the pressure just collapsed on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And up to that moment, before he had his back injuries and off the field, I think he did live up to every expectation of being the greatest golfer of all time. Man, but
I think Tiger one of his issues, though, that he really still wanted to be great, and he wanted to fight through the pain. I think painkillers got the best of his. The reason why he's having the issues he had, he's taking all these damn painkillers so we can get back out there and put on the show for the fans. I think that's probably his biggest downfall.
That's true.
And chasing them ladies too. That's those two.
That's
things.
what I think. That was more of a downfall. He probably got hurt chasing them. Kathy said that Chris Everett and Martina Navratilova, they were very good female players. Of course, Jack Nicklaus, very good. She said Larry Bird and Magic Johnson saved the NBA. They did, and Michael Jordan next level. But like I said, far as those people, that's just a few handful of people that I feel like really lived up to expectation. The reason why I even thought about this question is because everybody's talking about Wemby, and I'm like, he's 22 years old, and everybody think he's supposed to be Superman. And I think that he's really going through growing pains. This is his third year in the NBA, and he doesn't have a David Robertson next to him like Tim Duncan did. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have. He's supposed to be mature. He's supposed to be able to make decisions. His oldest player on the team is fucking De'Aaron Fox. Like, come on, man. Like, that dude, he's 28. That's your veteran. That's your veteran on the team. But But yeah, man, I just wanted to do a little bonus round of that, man, before we get out of here. And so we can go and enjoy our weekend. We know we're in June, so now the weather's getting a little bit better here in the Midwest, man. You know, I'm out here watering my flowers on my deck.
I saw you, bro. I saw you out there with
Hey,
the green. Joe, you got the green thumb, brother.
hey, listen, man, it's so peaceful to get out here, man, and just just water your flowers, man. Kick back with a nice little cocktail. Get you a nice beverage as well as I got a Cuban cigar. My boy colleague Coach Jones got me his Cuban cigar. I'm gonna go check that out a little later.
I'm talking about. Do your thing, but live your life.
Man, no doubt, man. Just relaxing, man. But so let me get your final thought, man, before we get out of here.
Final thought: NBA free agency is right around the corner. The finals will be over in a few more games. Joe, I know you want to hear that. But the Lakers, Austin Reeves is a free agent. The most overrated player in the NBA. He wants a max deal. Austin Reeves is up for a 4-year, $200+ million deal. There is no way on God's green or Jody's green plants at his house I would pay Austin Reeves that kind of money. If you want that money, you might want to go see if the Clippers will give it to you because they ain't giving you that shit if I'm the Lakers.
I definitely agree. I seen his contract and I'm like, dude, you're gonna pay that much for a number 2 or 3 option, maybe a number 4 option on a good team. You're absolutely correct, man. But it's somebody gonna be out there that's gonna pay him, and they're gonna
somebody gonna pay.
Disappointed when they do it. Yeah, man. But my final thought is, man, I've been watching, baseball. And I remember people was talking about the Reds, man, the Reds. I said, wait, pump your brakes, wait until you find out who they fucking play. And the Reds, who are in the most competitive division in all of baseball, being the NL Central, but they have dropped games. I think they only got they don't have many wins against teams with winning records. And I told people it depends on who you play in baseball, and it looks at your schedule. When you start playing the powerhouses in the media schedule, especially being in that division, you got to play the Cubs, you got to play the Cardinals, you got to play the Pirates. Man, that's a very difficult division. Not to mention when you make your West Coast trip against the Dodgers, and you got to play San Francisco, you got to play the Padres. Hey, listen, man. Everybody pump your brake. I love my Reds, but until we can really put everything together, man, I hate when we get this hype because we never live up to expectations, and it looked like we're not living up to it again with my Reds. But hopefully we can, right the ship and make the playoffs again this year. But hey, the hype train. Can y'all stop with the hype train with my Reds? Just let them play baseball for a little bit, and then let's figure it out. Because when they did so well at the beginning of the season, oh my God, look at the Reds. I said, I'm a Reds fan. I've seen this movie before.
They got a strong fan base, man, and the fans want them to win. Kind of like Knicks fans, they're tired of seeing their team lose. The Reds, their fan base wants to get back to their winning ways. I get it. I mean, that's they see the little glimmer of hope in these teams and the fan base to start blowing things up. I get it.
I just seen this movie before, so
I know. Hey, Jody, what do you think Knicks fans are thinking? We've seen this before. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, don't smoke it. Hey, that's a good one. King Mink said Sidney Crosby. Sidney.
Yeah. He lived up to the hype too. Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky as well. Hey, but once again, this show was brought to you by our sponsor, Michael Wright, attorney at law. Like I said, you got a wrongful death, personal injury, workman's comp, any of that stuff going on, car accident, call Mike in any of the 50 states. So in Tennessee, in New York, in California, in Texas, wherever you're from, you can call Mike at 937-222-7477. Just call Mike. But that was our show for today, man. We'll be back on the air next week. I say we go back on the air Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Because Monday, I don't want to do it because I don't want to be too sad doing the show. So we'll do Tuesday. We'll talk about the NBA Finals, and all the NFL news is about to come down the pipe because it's about to heat up in college football. It's about to heat up in the NFL, and we'll talk more about the WNBA as well as baseball is going on. And we got to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals as well. We'll talk about the Stanley Cup Finals and see who win it this year. But I'm your host, Jody Coleman of Against the Grain Sports Podcast. Uncut, man. We're here joined with my man, Jarrell Solon Sports Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Our guys in absent, Jason the Hefty, Lefty, Ray Morning, the Barbara, Lindsay, Michael, the People's Champ, Perry. We also got Donald, the voice of the youth. We couldn't get his audio right, so maybe we can get his audio right next week, as well as Andrew mic'd up. And we can't do none of this without the Knicks. He said he's the Knicks. Jay Kane himself cooking it up in the kitchen. Hey, so what we doing, man? Till Tuesday.
We working, baby.
All right, see y'all Tuesday. Peace.